Have you decided where the cut-off point is yet?
Yeah, in the middle.
Where is the middle?
He's about to say, I presume.
Wait, let me make the announcement.
The announcement.
Do, 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 do. There we go. Announcement go. Being live. Hi, Marcus. Do, 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 do. Okay. I think we have everything going. Let's see. Yep. Okay. This is my folder here, showing all the entries for Lemuria Phase 1. It is in the moment 963. Yesterday it was a more funnier number, but then going through it today, turned out I had like a few saved double or under wrong name, and then I corrected down a little bit again. But yeah, big shout out to everybody involved. An enormous amount of creative work has come together here around the Lemuria challenge. And yeah, today we want to go through half of them. We will go through, I think, what did I say? Cut-off point would be at the last submission of Jackja. That's roughly halfway point. So yeah, today will be only showcase, half a showcase. Tomorrow we will have the next half of the showcase and more and the first of the morals, which will be the coral reefs. That's the first. It's the first environment we will visit. Okay. Let's see in chat. Are there any questions at the moment? Colorblindo, is this being recorded and can we watch this back? This is being recorded, and I potentially will put this actually on YouTube. But yeah. Let us start. This is all in alphabetical order, so you can anticipate when your entry will come up. Let me quickly take a sip of my iced coffee, and then we get started here. By the way, we already have like a little catalog of things we want to improve regarding the next phase when it comes to organization. We also have a very long document of ideas for the next phase and some other stuff that we will not talk about yet. But yeah, there are things like certainly to improve with the whole process of handing in submissions and stuff that we want to look into and implement. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and don't forget to read all the rules when the next phase drops, because a few things will change. Okay, we are starting here with Aberrantologist, who handed in 4 pieces. Starting with a Norasaurid, one of the groups that would be very diverse on Lemuria. Here, razor normal looking guy for Lemurian standards at this point, having looked all throughout all of these, really liking the very classic Mashikasaurus look here. After this, we have a bunch of ammonites. I think my favorite here might be this one in the middle with these spines downwards. That's quite a creative take on Nostoceras, basically. Also baculited and stuff. We had specifically Vidax put together a little document to look into what groups of ammonites would be most prevalent at this point in the Cretaceous and in this part of the world. And I think this is a good cross-section of that. After that, something that would eat all these ammonites, a mosasaurid, basically hyperglobidens. I think someone said it earlier pretty well. It's like an mosasaur with the head of an beaded lizard. And I think that's quite fitting. I really like the pattern here on the tail and stuff. Good stuff. And then some varied submissions here for the lake and forests with an arboreal pterosaur and little enantiomycene bird, as well as a lizard that would swim in the lake, relative of Mesoleptos, one of these weirdos that for some reason survived relatively long into the end of the Cretaceous.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if you guys have any thing to say to the submissions, feel free to chime in.
Of course.
Will do.
Oh, okay. According to aberrantologist, the weird pterosaur wing was actually a line art mistake. Didn't even notice that. I think it looks just like there's another wing behind it going forward. Works for me. Okay. Next, African mud turtle with an enormous mosasaur for Lemuria for the carbonate platform here. Unfortunately, probably not working that well because these areas are very shallow, like between 10 and 2 meters or something like that for the most part. It's really tricky for such large predators to find enough food there or even find enough room to move. That ammonite here on the other hand, on the top here, is a really nice design. I quite like it. You can see here in the sketch how it would float on the surface with its arms stretched out to collect all sorts of small food particles. That's a really nice design. Also liking the stripes on this one.
Ooh, and it's secondarily photosynthetic.
Yeah.
Ah, like a lily pad on the ocean.
Yep. That's a nice thing and might be really interesting to implement into the carbonate platform piece. We'll see. African mud turtle also has a second one here with plesiosaur and a saurodontine, a big predatory fish. Quite liking the colorations on both of these. Very, very nice. Then allied Cotilorhynchus enthusiast handed in this cricket. Looks a little bit like a mole cricket. Unfortunately, the image came without a description on top of it. I think so. The original post had it, but not the image. This is something we want to change in the second phase, that it's mandatory to put text also onto the image, also not on a separate image, but all onto the same, please, because otherwise we always have to backtrack these things and trying to find information about these. In the moment, I can see what it is, but I can't tell much else because there's this text layer missing, basically. Then we have by Anabazenops these beautiful little enantiomycenes, really liking the coloration. I think this is male and female. But again, because we don't have a text layer, this is hard to say from this perspective in the moment. Okay, and we have a bunch of submissions by a name was taken, starting with some Abelisaurids, male as well as female here. Quite liking little bumps on the heads there. And a Sicilian, I have to say, because Nick is not right here right now, you guys need to look at some more Sicilians. Not in this specific sense, but I had to hear quite a few complaints from him about people just don't know Sicilians.
This one looks very nice.
This one is very nice.
I like
Yeah,
the colors on it.
very nice color. Yeah, it's a Sicilian. Because Sicilians in general are rather conservative in their anatomy, but also there are very specific features on Sicilians that you have to keep in mind when drawing one. So yeah, maybe we will put a little guide out for the next phase, but we'll see. Then Snake by a name was taken. A crocodilian that looks extremely charming. I like this guy. Very funny looking. Also these two, I think they are Dirosaurids. At least that's most likely based on their anatomy. Here also with
They
some
look like it.
sexual dimorphism with the enlarged nose on the male. It's a nice touch, similar to Gharials. And another Eontiornicine. Again with sexual dimorphism. I like the red around neck and eye here. Cool beans. Also, very funny having the second foot so small. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a biological character or if it's an artistic character.
I think it's just it's so heavily sprawled out that its leg is fading away into the distance.
The power of perspective. It's doing a full spread. Okay, then a bunch of creatures here by a name was taken. We see an Uninlagin, we see a Titanosaur, a small Elasmarian, I think is up there, and Parankylosaur, and another extremely small armed Abelisaur.
I love how friendly it looks.
They look extremely friendly, yeah. More entries here with Nyctosaur and Atstarkids. Then a crocodilian that I think is the number 4 here. I think is supposed to be an Majungo Sukit.
Maybe could also be a Pterosaurid.
Maybe. I mean the small horns make me think.
True.
But yeah, and I think the bottom one might be a Notosuchian. Again, something we will have to look into when it comes to canonize these again, which is why we want to have this all together with the text in the future, so it's easier to check these things. More name was taken submissions with another small crocodilian, another Dirosaurid, I think. Looks a lot like it, at least. It might be a marine form with enlarged snoop. Squamate, number 3, I think here, and 2 snakes. Very cool. I quite like the Dirosaurid here. It's a funky looking one. Also with the implication that it had a razor wide back with quite large osteoderms.
Reminds me of Sarcosuchus.
Yeah. Then Anteropus submitting some polycotylids here. 2 closely related species by the looks of it. Both with these funky upturned snoots. I quite like this feature, especially the bottom one here with these brown tones. Also, wait, actually, this is a third species here. I first thought this was a juvenile, but nope, that's the third species, much smaller one. No, this is a very interesting idea with this upturned snout. I'm not sure if they give a reason for specifically the upturned snout in these guys, if this has something to do with like some probing in the sediment or something. But it's certainly a cool feature. And they have a reasonable size for the environment. I think they are for the carbonate platform or the reefs. All these environments don't really permit enormous animals to be around. Okay, another thing by Antiropus here are these catfish. Very funny little catfish. If I remember correctly, these are supposed to be parasitic on larger animals. It's a little bit weird here. They look like they have large teeth, but catfish usually don't have these. We might retcon this. But otherwise, this is a very funky little design. I like the idea of these suckers constantly just attached to a host.
I know some catfish do have pretty sizable chompers, like goonch catfish.
Okay.
Like conical Spinosaur-looking teeth.
Huh.
Oh gosh. Okay, after that,
Oh god, yeah, you're right.
Aquatic flapper with siren raptor, an unenlagin that has become quite semi-aquatic and tries to be a penguin. Or flightless cormorant. Yeah, very, very, very funny little design. Maybe a little bit too derived for our purposes, but I really like the colors here, especially on the head. Gives me certain species of cormorants are very colorful. Have very colorful facial tissue. So it's a fun idea. Also with the sprawling limbs, might be a little bit too much for what we try to go for. But yeah, we maybe for context, since the cutoff point for this phase, basically the divergent point is roughly in the Cenomanian. That's when it begins, like basically this timeline to diverge from ours. You wouldn't see such big differences probably between these two faunas yet. So we try to balance it out between being too conservative and too over the board, which is really tricky. And you might see a few submissions where you raise an eyebrow yourself and be like, are you sure this should be canonized? But we try to put together some coherent, plausible ecosystems here. Next one by Aquatic Flapper here, Aradactylus, and that's Darkit with a small head and neck, unusually small, and as the name implies, it's a parrot inspired Darkit with its very curved beak and colorful plumage. Okay, after that, Armin. Now comes the Armin stuff. Of course, with tons of crocodilians. Starting with Pyrosaurid. Here, a boar-like looking one, heavily armored in certain parts of its body. I quite like the head shape and everything. So with like the males being more gnarly overall and stuff. You can see these guys going absolutely ape shit or hawk shit with some predator around. I think they're the opportunistic, so omnivorous, going for all sorts of things they can get, which fits. How big? 2.3 meters. Yeah, that fits. Funky little dudes. Next we have some sauropods. Our first sauropods. Yay! No, wait, there was a sauropod earlier. I tell lies.
Oh, there was one,
yeah. Cryptovarix and Rostrosaurus, two quite different sauropods. Here one from the maritime temperate forests and one from the savannas and hot deserts, going for very different body plans here. I quite like the idea of like very short sauropod, so it can better maneuver between trees and stuff. That's an interesting idea. And then, of course, a Brachyrostrosaurus here with the big surfaces to get rid of excess heat. Okay, then 2 more sauropod submissions by Armin. Paludilania, something for the wetlands, and Phobopacnus for the mountains. Heavily armored. I quite like these gorilla-like forelimbs the second one has here. That's a very fun detail. Okay, and then of course we go back to crocodiles with a Pissarachamsine Kuonchampsa. 1
named
point.
after dolls.
Yeah. Fitting. I mean, some of these crocodile lineages were very terrestrial and potentially similar to dolls. Also similar in size here, although 2 meters, a little bit larger than a doll. We just saw one a week ago, so yeah. Yeah, I really like the pattern here. Overall head shape, it has a very Triassic vibe to it. Good stuff. Of course, then we get a Borosukine, because of course, if Armin has a chance, he will have one in here. Large terrestrial predator for the maritime temperate forest, up to 4 meters long. Solid stuff. Nice work on scales and osteoderms. If this gets in, I can already see it will be a pain to draw. All these osteoderms. And of course we need a Dirosaurid. An enormous one. Up to 8 meters long for the males. Being present at the coastline, routes and coral reefs, carbonate platforms and stuff. All marine habitats basically of Lemuria. Typical Dirosaurine. Nothing too fancy, but that fits very well the Cretaceous phase we want to go for. And we have this unusual submissions with a Dutch angle being used. Here with a Norsaurid, a very tall one, 3 meters, living in the wetlands, being a high browser. So one of our herbivorous Norsaurid submissions, of which we have a few. We don't have.
Cheeber's that genus name.
Yeah, I will not try to pronounce that. Also, this is an collaboration between Armin and Levi. I was there when the idea came to be. Same with this one, Parvatasora, an Alice Marion, a very chubby little boy, 2.5 meters long, living in the mountains, which might explain why it is so chubby, because
yeah, sure. Read that again. The size.
What? At the hip. I mean, it's not that long, so.
This is fair.
It's like, wait, let me measure. 2 point.
Did you just pull out a tape?
No. Although I have one here too. That at the hip. Roughly 2 times the length of the hip. So 5 meters roughly. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, one of our larger ones. And with a little bump on the nose, a little bit like Mutaborosaurus, but more subtle. Also like the inclusion of a little bit of an feathery filamentous integument. It's a nice thing. And with from Armin we go to Aquarius Rubro, who submitted this enormous turtle. Maturino calis gigantea. A very interesting looking creature.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this Arcturus guy is the guy we disallowed.
Ah. It's possible.
Yeah, I just checked. He is.
Yeah. And it's gone. Forgot to delete his stuff.
No problem. It was a cool it was a cool animal as well. Just check.
Yeah. Happens when you don't behave. Which is means we already jumped to a short moronic brontos here.
Ooh.
Yep, starting with Paleofalco, another Enantiornicine for the Savannah maritime temperate forests and hot deserts, wetlands, and tropical forests. Oh my god, everywhere!
It's
Might as-
everywhere.
Large portions of the continent. Quite nice. I can see the Falcata Kelly inspiration and stuff, and yeah, nice. Interesting sexual dimorphism here with a little bump on the snoot of the male. And we have Anatognathus ornatus. Ooh, it rhymes. Nyctosaurine from the maritime temperate forests and wetlands. Very, very small. I think it's one of our smallest pterosaurs at all. Omnivore with an interestingly upturned beak, a very wide beak too. I quite like here that you can see in the open-mouthed female how wide the skull is. Gives a good idea of why it's here, why omnivore might work for these guys, because with such a beak you can also easily crack open some clams or nuts and stuff like that.
Honestly, I'm tempted to say it's neotenic or pedomorphic.
Oh.
Could be like,
It's very bait coated.
yeah. I also quite like the male's coloration here with the pale yellow and the dark blue. That's
Wait,
a
there's
nice.
dark blue there?
I would say the beak
Oh,
is dark
it's the
blue.
beak. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Yeah, the very, very dark indigo blue.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Then another stegosaur. I think it's the first hour of our stegosaurs here. For people who are not aware, there will at the end of the project be only one stegosaur in all of Lemuria, the last stegosaur. So although we have tons of stegosaur submissions, only one of them will be canonized. I'm very sorry for people who handed in a lot of them. I know specifically Doomite has a whole roster of them.
They have like 7 of them.
At least 5. Yeah. Oh wait, no.
And
At
then-
least 6. At least 6
and then
come
the
to
one
mind.
in the desert piece. Oh god.
Yeah. There are many. And max 1 can go in. If people don't read the rules, that's not my problem.
It did
Yeah.
say the last stegosaur.
I did say the last stegosaur in the description of the rules and stuff. It's all in there. We first had, before we made it public, only had Stegosauria in there without like specification, and then I personally changed it to the last stegosaur to make clear there will be only one. Okay, then short more bonus here also with some stuff on paper, with some smaller and larger what's it called here, abelisaurs, little boys. Also some sauropods, Lemuria titan and micro-Pterosaurium. An extremely small one. Oh god, I just see that. That's a close up. Oh no. Fuck.
Oh, I added
It's
both sizes.
it's
Oops.
down here. It's down here. The adult one. Shit, that's small.
Itty bitty.
Itty bitty. And a gar. A gar with a very long snoot and very surprisingly small caudal fin. More gars later. There will be many. And Pycnodontiformis, we have a few here. Among other things, this extremely tall one, which I very much like. Also because these pale pink colors. That's quite nice. Okay, then another croc. Here, relative of Simusuchus, by the looks of it. A very wide face. Very cool. Nice stuff, nice stuff. Razor normal looking. But I mean that's pretty good for us. Not too different from what we see in the fossil record. Ah, yes. One of the most controversial sauropod submissions then. Ghana Titan by Attack Draws.
This guy.
The pseudo Hadrosaur.
It's such an interesting idea, but I think it's a bit too derived.
I think it would just need one or two small tweaks and then it would work.
It's like slightly short, like smaller head, like slightly.
I think the
longer
head
would be
size
fine.
is not an issue. I would make the neck maybe a little bit longer and
that.
make the metatarsals shorter because in the moment it's slightly digitigrade.
Honestly,
Oh god, now that you mention it.
That
think it's also
doesn't work with
the
a
back shape.
sauropod.
like the vertebra shape and the basic outline and the row of scutes are also identical to hadrosaurs and not very much like. Well,
Yeah,
not
on the
much
other hand, we have stuff like I mean we have
A
these
lot of sauropods
spines
have
for
that back arch,
sauropods. Yeah.
the spines.
And it's
True.
there. I mean, so and we have that. I think that's one of my main things to take away from test talk at last PaleoStreamCon is that we can be much more creative with sauropod integument in general when it comes to scales. Yeah. There is so much diversity in their scales, and also Matt Dempsey told me once he thinks that midline scales like this were probably very common. Ooh, what did you just get? Da! A ray!
wow,
Oh my
it's
god!
Rating with 550 members. Holy shit.
Generator Friday, welcome to the stream and thank you for the raid. Hello there. Oh my god. I don't know what to say. This might be a little weird to come in here because what we are currently doing is a showcase stream. Not that much art you will unfortunately see here, although the description might have said you will see a lot of art, but not in action. This is and there come the first people signing up. Oh no. Oh god. Oh fuck. Yeah, Lemuria without context. True. I think a little explanation might be in order. We are currently having a speculative evolution project, an alternate timeline in which fictional continent named Lemuria is inhabited by all sorts of different critters with a divergent point in the Cretaceous. And we are currently in phase 1 in the Cretaceous and looking at all these different animals that people have handed in. More than 900 submissions and very, very many different creatures that we want to show here people and discuss. That's it's not your regular PaleoStream content. So well. Let's carry on because there are There are many submissions in here. I'm sorry if I don't say hello to everyone specifically who is just subscribing. But yeah, we have to carry on because we want to only do half of these submissions today. Tomorrow we will do the rest and also start putting these together into ecosystems. So not everything you see now here on the stream will be put into the canon of this project. We will put our favorites together into plausible ecosystems that will be all over this continent that is consistent of India and Madagascar. India and Madagascar were like together for a large portion of the Mesozoic, but towards the end of the Cretaceous, both separated, and India began to drift towards Asia. And we were basically like, okay, what if this doesn't happen? And what if it doesn't happen and it continues to be one continent not connected to Asia until today? So, yeah, this has enormous ramifications. Like, for example, the Himalaya will never be a thing. The Cretaceous extinction event that wiped out the dinosaurs will not be as severe as you would expect, because at the same time as a big asteroid hit in Mexico, we had enormous volcanic eruptions in India because it was ramming right into Asia. So there is so many ramifications from just this little change we are making to the Earth's history. And yeah, we are looking through the ages in 3 different phases, how this affects the flora and fauna of this place. Going to our next submission here by Aura Terrorbird. We have a Titanosaur, we have an Ellis Marion, a little mammal down here. What is it? It's a Gondwanaseer. Okay, yeah. Gondwanaseers, a very popular, not popular, but widespread clade in the Mesozoic. And we have, of course, an Utstarket. Very, very nice little creatures.
What's some grasses and a podocarp?
Ooh, that's a podocarp. Interesting, an herbaceous podocarp.
No, that's the grass. The tree is the
podocarp.
Wait.
Oh, no, I was looking in the wrong place. Yeah. Oh, should have put it next to you. Yeah. Graphic design. At some point, we will teach it to you. Alright, Terrorbird also here then with a coelacanth and another Enantiomycene. Nice. And a lot of more Enantiomycenes I see here. Is it Enantiomycenes? Oh, no. It's Onchomorpha. Okay, so these are basal modern birds. Still with little claws, but already fully beaked and kind of corvid-like, these guys here. Very cool. Generalist omnivores. Yeah. I could see these guys having a grand future after the KPG even. Then average bear with some fungi here. Nice. Joe's pink mushroom. I will not explain the reference behind this. And an Orocaria. And I like the idea of little mammal running away from the big cones coming down.
Now, I believe this tree of, let me see, is it from...
Up to 80 meters. Whew.
I believe this has been featured in many other people's submissions, so this might be one of our keystone species.
Yeah, we have not that many big trees, I think, that were submitted, but I think it's quite a few that we can very effectively use again and again. Grand tooth. Big Abelisaur here for savannas by the looks of it. And the deserts too. Okay, around the lake as well. Ooh, wait, the savannas. I think that's also the tropical forest. Okay. Another sauropod from the deserts, by the looks of it. Quite likes the idea of the hump on the tail here for fat
Yeah.
storage and stuff.
Yeah, very prehistoric planet as well.
Very, very prehistoric planet, yeah. And then, we had some discussions about this. A nyctosaur that grows large enough to be a competition for Atstarkids. There are a few reasons why we think this is unlikely, although it is a very cool design. But it appears that Atstarkids were doing something, and it's not quite clear what, but were doing something different from other pterosaurs that made it able for them to reach such enormous sizes. Because, like, the largest non-Atstarkid pterosaurs are basically the same size as the largest flying birds of the Cenozoic. Like, Argentavis and Pteranodon are roughly the same size. And then we have Atstarkids, and they blow everything out of the water. And it's not quite clear why. I suspect it has something to do with their limb proportions. Maybe also that they had very, very muscular forearms. But yeah. And they were so successful in the niches they occupied that I don't think a nyctosaur would ever approach that.
Isn't
Very
also,
cool
the
image,
fact that,
though.
Aren't most big pterosaurs, beside Archdarkids, also not fish eaters?
Yeah.
And Archdarkids
Yeah.
are the only ones that really specialize into ground hunting. So
Yeah, I mean, a
goes
few
with it
other
as
groups
well.
probably did it too, but yeah, most of them are rather close to Atstarkids, so it's yeah.
Archdark, what?
Atstarcoids.
Thalassodrome,
Yeah,
Yeah,
thalassodromoids and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, cool idea, doesn't quite work probably. This one might work actually better. Digging Atstarcoid or Atstarkid. Very, very fun little creature here, living in the mountains, digging into the slopes. Is it? Yeah. Burrowing, eating invertebrates, small burrowing mammals, and reptiles. Okay, yeah. Long texts, hard to search for information. Then another one here by Average Bear, another Simusukin crocodile. What a goober, one has to say. Also, there are a lot of Dungeon Meshy references in these later submissions. I don't mind. I like the series too. But it's not just in the size comparisons, as you will see. Then this absolute chonker of a crocodile, another crocodilian, another Simusukin, very hippo-like, and looking a lot like something out of the early Permian. Yeah.
Yeah, this is John Carrier levels of rotund.
Yeah, Dr. Mashika, very Moshops-like. Yeah, absolutely. Very, very rotund. Then we have some Noasaurids of various kinds. Some small, some bigger. Some with very funky teeth. Then some para-ankylosaurs. I think some para-ankylosaurs. No, these are stegosaurs. Okay. Stegosaurs with reduced plates on their back. Interesting idea. And apparently they are digging and going for termites. At least the second species here. Very cool idea. There we have our next Dungeon Meshy reference. My absolute favorite of these. The stare. The goddamn stare.
Ah, yeah, the Senshi Badger.
Yeah, the Senshi Badger. Badger.
I love it.
It's so stupid. Beautiful. Beautiful. No matter if it gets in or not, it gets in our hearts at least. We'll see if we can canonize it. Next one. Very large flightless Enantiomycene. Very woolly looking and apparently living in the mountains. A little bit too large, maybe. This is maybe something more for the Oligocene than the Cretaceous. I don't really see a reason why Enantiomycenes would evolve into large flightless birds like this, with so many other non-avian dinosaurs around. But well. Then large Sphenodontian, also living in the mountains by the looks of it. Yep. I love the the end of the description being that's all. Very good. Okay, next person is Axo, who handed in this Abelisaur, Majungasaurine, with quite a few little horns on its face. Medium-sized one, just 4 meters long, and living in the savannas by the looks of it. Very nice. Liking the bristles on the tail here. Cool idea. World Maker. That's don't worry. Next phase will come, and I mean, Cretaceous is rather conservative, as I said. In the Oligocene, well, shit will get crazy. I can already tell that much, because the divergent point is just so much more behind us. So much more will have changed. Badgerling McLaugh has this thing here. Also, wait. No. I have to delete this one because I accidentally saved it double. He also handed in something under a different name. Sorry for that. I think his stuff will come tomorrow. All together. Doesn't make sense to show it now. Just this one. Jumping to barium bromid. Who has some very cool marine animals here. One of them being a relative of, I think it's a relative of Stratodus, big marine fish. And I quite like here on the map, like how it shows there's a migration route for these guys that goes past Lemuria. So these are only seasonal guests in the coastal waters of our little continent here. Next we have Ichthyomimus gladius, which, if I remember correctly, is a mosasaur. Extremely derived mosasaur, very, very shark/fish-like, or ichthyosaur-like even. Maybe too derived, we'll see, we will discuss it. But beautiful design nonetheless. Here we have them together in the coastal waters next to a reef. Something that barium bromide also had it in. Then we have snakes, marine snakes. Very cool marine snakes. I love these ones. I love the mottled look on the male and stuff. And the caudal fins are really nice in design. And they live together with enormous sharks. And they have a specific reason for that, because they apparently eat parasites from the back of these sharks.
I do love that shark design.
Yeah, there is a shark and the snake, both really nice. We are currently discussing if the shark is a little bit too large for its habitat and where it's living. But yeah.
I still think it could work as a popping ground, personally.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, it's a little bit of a question, like how much cosmopolitan animals we want to include. Because if the shark is cosmopolitan, the snake would be too. Because it's so intertwined with the shark. And that makes it, yeah.
Unless it comes to Lemuria partly because it has these endemic parasite-picking snakes. And the snakes
to use it as a cleaning spot.
Oh,
maybe.
Cleaning station, like what you see with like
was
like a show with like 20 of those basking whale sharks that like came to this special reef to get cleaned.
Yeah.
See that?
Maybe. There is you can see we are figuring these things out as we go along. Okay, next we have Belusi. I'm not sure how to pronounce your username. However, you handed him a very interesting looking titanosaur. Very long-legged, quite upright in posture. I quite like this. Also, the coloration on the male is just mwah, very cool.
It's real.
Yeah, very big one.
Interesting
Yeah, it reminds me of Pterosaurs with their long legs and stuff.
Yeah. Like it's like a base between like icysaurs, pterosaurs, and then like aeolosaur.
Yeah, with a tail. Yeah. Yeah, no, very, very nice. Then we have Big N, who handed in first here this I think it's a cycad. I'm not sure if it's a cycad or a Benedictalian, although I think at this time we didn't have Benedictalians on the list yet, so I think this is cycad. Again, we will need to look later in our documentation to find this again. Then this very cool looking Rhynchocephalian, a very chunky boy. I honestly love this one. It looks
he has How to Train Your Dragon.
Yes, he has Major Gronkel vibes. Yeah.
Also, El Scrivenator, if your submissions were posted or stuff, they will be in this thing. You don't need to repost them in the Twitch chat.
Yep. They will appear at some point or not. I do not remember seeing these submissions. Or did I save them? You did? Did you post them in?
Yeah, I remember these.
Okay. Then I will have saved them. Should have. They will come at some point.
One of these is the speculative dinosaur, like the one that looks like Dougal Dixon's work.
Oh yeah, no. Then it's in here. That's in here. Yeah, should be. If not, message me again afterwards. And we will absolutely include them here, because I know these were posted in time. If I have not saved them, I'm very sorry. I should have them in here, but yeah. We are at letter B in the moment. You can see how much here is in the folder. There is a lot. Next one here, we have some cactus-looking stuff. These are Euphorbiaceae. Nice.
The spurges.
Yeah. Nice. Bring some pseudocacti to the drier parts of Lemuria. Then Black Leopard posting treetop animals for the rainforest here. Snake, an unenlagin, and an iguana. Interesting. I find it interesting the snake and the iguana have a very similar looking head. Unless this is also... Oh, no, it's a boet. I recommend you to have a look at some modern boets there. Although they are very charming little creatures here. Maybe as a little information, if we canonize stuff, sometimes I make little tweaks to designs to better fit the group they're supposed to be in, or if it doesn't, the design is really cool, but it doesn't quite fit in the ecosystem. So sometimes things are, for example, resized, make it a little bit smaller or a little bit larger to better fit their specific role, because these are from all sorts of different people, of course, that did not necessarily communicate with each other. So we try to brute force something coherent out of it in the end. But that's one of the interesting parts of this. Then we have by Bornolu in large amount of caecilians. For people who are not aware, caecilians are amphibians still existing today, and they are looking kind of like worms. However, they are vertebrates, and they have some crazy looking skulls, and in general are very, very bizarre creatures, and they go back into the Mesozoic, which is why we also have them here on Lemuria. Bonolo did some very interesting things here. I quite like the idea here with Vermistaurus, this horned caecilian. I'm not sure how likely that is. We will discuss it for sure with Nick, our resident Caecilian guy. But it is a very, very nice design. Then the Mangletooth. Big props for the name. Relative of Machikasaurus, as you can see, with these weird dentition. Yeah, very, very cool. I very much like these large rays here. 3 meter long. Are these... Okay, they for me they look kind of like they would fit into freshwater, but these are for the marine habitats. Okay, yeah. Then we have flying frogs. Or the gliding frogs here. That go like towards bat a little bit. I really like the tongue here. It looks a little bit like a fungus. Very nice idea. Might be a little bit too derived, but as a creature idea and design, works really well. Then another one by Bonolu, the stump bat dog, Triconodontian, living in mountains and similar stuff, open woodlands. Yeah, small generous predator. Really like the in general the art style here and how it works together with the flora that is also introduced here. The hairy shrub tree. Also like the details here of leaves and even fruits. I think it is a podocarp. Yes, good. That fits. Then we have an temporarily, partially a bipedal lizard, an agamete by Bonolu. Very cool. And this osteoglossiform, of which I have 2 versions. I think the second one is the official one.
Yes.
Yeah. I think like at some point we put an update in chat being like, guys, look please at some Cretaceous osteoglossiforms. They don't look like modern ones. And I think this was one of the updates that came out of that. And I saved for some reason both versions. Didn't realize that I had them both in here. Then also this very cool looking Alice Marion, very fluffy one from Cold Steppe and the mountains with a little hump. Really likes the color that the beak and nose brings into it. Nice stuff. Carrying on to the green dressfish from the marine environments. I'm not sure what's going on actually with all the soft tissue on the flanks here. Is it camouflage?
It's symbiotic algae.
It's symbiotic algae. Ooh, interesting idea. It's platoid. Okay. Elsquibonator. I mean, frogs were surprisingly derived by the Maastrichtian, but also
Most of the big clades.
yeah, we have quite a bit of diversity, but oftentimes the fossils we have aren't the best. So there's a lot of wiggle room actually for what is possible and what not. Yeah, it's one of these things that has to be discussed. We'll see with a frog. For me personally, I also think in the moment it might be too far, but there was certainly a lot of frogs. We have a list of clades that people can include, like draw from for inspiration for what they want to create, and we have like probably a dozen frog clades on there. I think there is more than you would expect. Onto one of my favorite submissions, the glide bat. An absolute goober. Another gliding creature that is maybe a little bit more likely than the gliding frog. Also because it's a typical gliding small mammal. Just 6 to 8 centimeters.
Amphibians proper mammals though? Or are they like really basal mammaliforms?
I'm not sure. Although it doesn't really matter that much for in this case.
Yeah, true. It is amazing either way.
It is again, it has How to Train Your Dragon vibes in a way. Also here, another fungus. Really nice. We always welcome some fungi. They are really good to like give a scenery some more depth and stuff. And this is a nice creative design. Awesome. Here also we have a bivalve. Very cool looking one. I love the filtering apparatus here at the top, and the corkscrew like organ foot that goes into the ground. Very cool. And now we come to Nick slash Kalamacow. Starting here with a para-ankylosaur, a digging one. Reduced armor and tail weapon, however, enlarged frontal claws to dig into the soil, living in the drier climates of Lemuria. Yeah, very, very, very cool idea. Then a bunch of plants and their pollinators. Yeah, we have some butterflies on Lemuria. They were already a thing at the end of the Cretaceous. And then stuff from the coastal regions. Here an aquatic mammal with little horns. We have 2 rays. We have a crab. And a very large, what family is it?
Mayfly.
It's a mayfly. Very cool.
Oh.
And certainly likely considering we have a long history of mayflies in the fossil record. Nice. Next one by Nick. Here we have an ammonite, and they're seated. Very long snooted fish from the Cretaceous. Water striding harvestman, if I remember correctly. I think that's a harvestman.
Looks like it.
I would think so.
Very
Yeah.
cool idea.
Yeah. And a clam. Very, very nice stuff. I love the shape of the ammonite. I was there when he came up with the idea. There are ammonites. This is inspired by ammonites that actually come from the Permian. I think it was the Permian. Very weird shapes, but we have some weird stuff in ammonites where certain designs pop up again and again in their history from wildly different groups, like having the idea basically all over again. And basically he's bringing back here one of these Paleozoic designs into the late Cretaceous. Also very unusual for Nick, he made a Titanosaur. One of the largest ones even.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
The
it's
propaganda worked.
the propaganda worked. It's a
Maya,
Mamenchisaur 2.0. As you can see, and by the description, it's a high browsing specialist. What's its habitat? Maritime forest and jungle. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. You want to be tall to reach these canopies, because boy, the trees get tall here. Yep. Very much liking the colors too. Very nice. Very very pleasing color gradients he puts in here. No aberrantologist that has nothing that there said it has nothing to do with Saurictes. Nick would never touch Saurictes again. Then probably the stuff that Nick works the most on are these reef organisms. We have some big rudists. We have a coral. And we have a enormous starfish and a fish that specializes on feasting on rudists, but also corals. But mostly rudists, because there's just a little bit more meat on them. After all, they are big bivalves. You can see here one in black and white in the background. One nibbling on one. There's some cool background information about this one, which we will go probably into when it comes to it. Not for the showcase.
Choice word.
Yeah.
Yes. This was the last thing that Nick submitted. You can see by the image that he included here that he was basically within the last minute yesterday of submitting it. It was really just last second. I think he was like a minute over time, but because I knew that it was coming, we still let it slide. We have a Sicilian. We have, I think this is a fungus. Yeah. Fungus, snail, spider, and we have a beetle. Very, very cool creatures. Indeed. Something for the leaf litter. Then Cambrian dude handing in, I think, our only 3D digital model submission we got. Yeah, little pseudo scorpion. I see little. I mean, it's for a pseudo scorpion, it's relatively large. I think even. Yeah, usually pseudo scorpions are extremely tiny.
Like 1 or maybe even half of a millimeter in length. They are.
Yeah. They are truly minuscule oftentimes. But yeah, this is a nice little addition for the rainforest, especially for the leaf litter, which will get its dedicated piece. Then Caprimulgus has a lot of submissions, starting here with some dragonflies. Very basic ones. Nice stuff to put into the background or the foreground. I was surprised how few dragonfly submissions we got, honestly. I think we only have like a handful or so. Then some more knife fish. This one down here is actually quite large. Living in the lake and river system of the in the center of Lemuria. Very, very, very nice designs. I love the red gradient there on the big boy. Then we have, I think these are not source skates. These are actually here relatives of our modern day Pristis sawfish, saw sharks, I think. Yeah, these are saw sharks.
Which
yeah,
are different from sawfish, which are different
from saw skates. Yeah. All these different conjunctions all converging on the same bow plan. It's crazy. I'm surprised that nobody had so far the idea to recreate yet another clade of these guys for Lemuria or Atlantis. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, nice little boys. More fish and a little crustacean here. I think these guys are like in a some kind of relationship with each other, which is why they are on the same submission here, but we don't have a text on the image here, which is why I can't tell you about it. Then we have this guy. I think it's a Sauropod. Although it looks more like a basal tetaneuron. But that might be by design. Yeah. And as you can tell from the name, it's House of the Dragon reference. Then Captain Knorke with a bunch of really, really cool submissions here, starting with an Alice Marion, a very fluffy one. Very much liking this one. It is, I think from my perspective, it's a little bit questionable to make it this fluffy, but then put it into the tropical rainforest and it must be extremely hot under all that feathers. But it looks really cool. And we have another Stegosaur. Really liking the pattern here on the plates. Also the idea of having the big plates over the hips and then making them smaller towards the back and front. Then Pteranodontian. I quite like that forward sweeping crest on the male here. Oh, this reminds me, I'm going relatively quickly through these. Do you still see them when they pop up on Twitch, or should I maybe live stream also on Discord so you get it more directly for people, specifically for you, for Levi and Udynamo? Should I live stream here on Discord, maybe, so you see it directly? But
nah, it's fine.
Okay.
The delay isn't that bad.
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay. Just making sure, not that I go too quickly through it and you can't get a word in because I'm already on the next. Okay, then we have some termites. I think these are our first termites in here. Small boys, very nice. Oh, and
Wait, those are not termites.
these are not termites. Wait.
No, these are web spinners.
Web-
Another group of
Ooh.
insects.
They look quite similar to termites. Web spinners. Interesting.
They
I'm
actually grew
not
silk from their arms, weirdly enough.
from their interesting. Oh yeah, here also part of a silk gallery. Interesting.
Huh.
And they are apparently supposed to be partially eusocial, I think. Interesting idea. I'm not the big insect specialist here, as you can see, but we have a lot of really, really cool insects that have been submitted. Back to tetrapods with this beautiful looking frog. I like the inclusion of the tadpole. What a fat little goober. More frogs. These are all clades we have from the late Cretaceous. And that are still around today. And judging by their modern day relatives, yeah, Cretaceous frogs were already very, very diverse. Like even stuff like this with their stupid little noses and tiny heads and stuff already around. It's a thing. I love the inclusion of all the tadpole forms here next to the adults. That's really nice. Some reef fish then by Captain Knorke. Yeah, I see here. Platoidae. So some Selfatiformis. Always nice to see these. Will be nice submissions. Submissions. Stuff to put into these environments. Another coelacanth. We didn't get that many coelacanths in hindsight. Coelacanth and a ray. And some more stuff for the freshwater environment. I love this catfish here. Scrophopotamus. With this weirdly downturned back and neck and head, like in the front, Looks a little bit like it has scoliosis. And then this fatty fin behind the dorsal fin gives it a quite unique silhouette. Also a lovely pattern overall. Very nice. This submission here by Captain has maybe some of my favorite ammonites, especially this guy here. Snedodermis. Very colorful. Loves the stripy tentacles and stuff, long and slender, and just fantastic work. Some beetles here. Captain Conqueror handed in a lot of beetle submissions. Very elaborate mouse parts and stuff. Very nice colorations. Going rather quickly through these because there's just so many of them. Some crustaceans and more insects. Also one of here relative of triops. Very cool. Something for the wetlands and stuff. Very cool crustaceans again. A slipper lobster. I bow to you. That is a extremely complex but cool looking pattern you gave it here. Very nice. Then we have some grasshoppers. Very cool grasshoppers. Especially, of course, the one at the top here with a crest all over its body, like to camouflage as a leaf. Very cool. And then a Noasaurid. Semi-aquatic one. As you can see by the webbed feet. Okay, and Slurpersaura, Rhynchocephalian, an extremely large one. I suppose, based on the name, it's inspired by these old bee movies that have just some regular lizards with some extra horns glued to them, used as dinosaur stand-ins, and it works. I mean, very large Rhynchocephalian, basically enormous tuatara, and it's on these islands in front of Lemuria where they're living, which I mean could work on these more isolated islands. We unfortunately don't really have the time to really feature the endemic fauna and flora that these separate islands would produce, probably. But we might canonize some of these submissions that are put there. Anyway, we'll see. Cleanly moss now with some mammal stuff. Haramidae, and rather slender small mammal from the cold steppe and alpine regions. Then we have an gecko relative. I love the colors on this one. Living in the tropical rainforest. That works really well. Oh my god, even more people signing up here. Hello, all new people that might followed just the channel. Thank you for being here. Welcome to Paleostream and Lemuria. Another sauropod here by Cleanly Moss with some cool looking soft tissue structures on the neck. Very cool. I have never seen something like this done with a sauropod. I don't think these are these? No, they are inflatable. Okay, so they are just like hanging there when they're not inflatable. But yeah, a little bit like pool noodles.
Like wattles for turkey.
Then we have some spiders. Avert your eyes, arachnophobes. Little tiny green spiders for the tropical regions. And this really cool looking spider, also for the tropical regions. I think it's a pelican spider, how they call today. Very bizarre mouse parts, these guys. Very cool stuff. More traditional tarantula looking thingy afterwards. Megarina gigas. Okay. For the forest floor. and some lizards. Chameleontiformis. Okay. So these guys are relatively close to chameleons, although chameleons themselves were not really a thing during Cretaceous yet. But these guys are like close to them, same overarching family, basically. I think we have the oldest chameleon relatives back in the Jurassic, if I remember correctly. I think we have something from Solnhofen that might already be on their way to be going there, but these guys look more like agametes back then. So for people who thought, oh, we can just put like some chameleons into Lemuria, sorry, nope, doesn't work. Then, Color Blindo. Bunch of things by Color Blindo. Here, starting with a small Titanosaur. Very cool stuff. And then larger Mosasaurine. I like the front flippers here. I think it's implied a little bit that they would be still relatively mobile, like in the reefs, like maneuvering over corals and in shallow water with these very muscular flippers. Also, I think it's not in the description here on the image, at least. At least that's the vibe I'm getting from this. Then Majungosaurine from the hot desert, very, very nice, very well camouflaged, probably with these colors. Some pterosaurs. We have a lot of pterosaurs, guys. Hold on to your butts. Nyctosaurs as well as an Atstarket. This one is really, really interesting with an extremely short beak. What's is this number one? Yes, it's number one. From the rivers and coastline and wetlands. There's a small one, a bivalve eater. I like the idea that it's like going for shelled prey. On the other hand, the question is like, how would it get to this prey without basically having a long rostrum to pick it out of the mud or water? So I love the design, but at the same time I'm questioning how feasible it is. Also, whoever just followed, hello there, welcome to the Paleo stream. Thank you for the follow. Okay, more from Color Blindo. We have a bunch of snails, very nice snails. Nothing to critique here. Good stuff, good stuff. And another Abelisaur, a Rajasaur relative. I really like this boy. Large, powerful Sauropod, clearly distinct, but not too crazy. Good stuff also with these little thorns on its arms for display or maybe for scratching its hide. Who can tell? Another Alice Marion from the Maritime Forest, medium-sized boy here. Really liking the body shape here. And I quite like the head shape, very pleasing. And Elasmosaur, not Elasmosaur, Noasaurid, my god, with some crests on its head. That's an interesting idea. Not something we see in the fossil record yet, but since theropods have done it all the time, so why not? Nicely done. One of the more crazy submissions by Colorblindo is this guy, Notosuchian, Incisivosuchus fodiens, a subterranean Notosuchian. Very bizarre looking creature. It reminds me of something, but I can't put my hand on it. Yeah, it's an interesting fella for sure. I think it's once again a relative of Simusuchus, but even more like towards living underground and stuff.
Yeah, it gives me like Lystrosaurus and mole rat vibes.
Yeah, it has Permian vibes to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And cooked shells here with an ammonite, with a very, very short shell. It's more like having a little hat. But I quite like the color scheme here. Makes it very well camouflaged in between rocks and stuff. Then this little lizard, unfortunately without text, so I can't say much about it. And this was a rather recent submission, and it's a sea pen, a free swimming sea pen. Something we don't really have today, and I'm not sure how well that would work. But I quite like it as an idea, and looks very funky. And this guy, I don't remember what this was. Oh god. Again, one of these cases where we have no information on the image, so hard to say. It is some kind of small marine
I
organism.
remember the clade name. It's Acoelia or Asoelia. Oh, small and simple invertebrates. They are. Some kind of weird bilaterian, which resembles a flatworm.
Oh, okay. So little goober.
Little goober.
Little
That's
goober of
basically
some
it.
sort. even like their description makes them. Yeah, it's just a little bit of biomass. little
bit
piece of
of
biomass
vaguely-
crawling over the ground.
Vaguely symmetrical biomass.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
here's pictures of living ones.
Then Cornel Pirschka submitting a turtle here. A very cool looking turtle. I think this is a rather large one. Oh yeah, there's a hand right next to us. Very long neck, flat head and carapace. I really like the head shape here with its little dumpy nose. 1 meter long carapace. Yeah, this is a big boy. Where is it? Wetland and river environments. Okay, that works. Yeah, and it looks like it has a little garden of water plants growing on its back, which is really nice. Very, very funky. Also, I think this is a juvenile down here sketched. Yeah, it has the right balance between menacing and goofy, which I very much appreciate in turtles. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And crazy tag with a large Majungasaurine, 6.5 meters long, Magnetolus, very cool name. Looks a little bit too much like a Carcharodontosaur, maybe. But I really very much like the color scheme. Yeah. And then a Noasaurid from the arid and alpine regions. Yep, it's a Noasaurid. I like the blue inner parts of the face of the mouse. Cool stuff. Cryodracon, another person that has handed in quite a few things. Big at target. I think this guy is supposed to be like an specialist for other pterosaurs. I think.
I don't think that's this one.
Oh no, true. That was another one, but this other one was similar. Yeah. With this guy has this unusual hooked beak tip. I think the other one has it too. More dinosaurs here with Noasaurids. Is this low one also Noasaurid? Oh yeah, these are all Noasaurids. Yeah. Very funky creatures. The last one here looks. The last one here looks like straight out of Skull Island, in a way.
It gives me Ice Age 3 vibes.
Oh yeah, true. Cephalovenator. Then here, a very large-headed Herbivore.
I love it.
My God, what a creature! Yeah, then Elasmarians. A very interesting idea here with the enlarged thumb claw. So instead of having like a some spine like an iguanodontian. These guys independently have these big claws on their hands, maybe for protection or intraspecific combat. A very cool idea. Bradinator. This is, I think, it's a polycotylid, a filter-feeding polycotylid from the lakes, rivers, and rudistries, by the looks of it. Very fun idea, although maybe a little bit too far-fetched. Then we have this very cool-looking pteranodontian with some large elaborate crests. I quite like the idea of having a little bit like night sky, a piece of night sky on your head. Then this freaky looking sauropod. I'm surprised this is not something for the wetland, because it has major wetland vibes to me. It says this is more something for the hot steppes, maritime forests, and tropical forests by the description.
I think the idea was that the highlands were nesting grounds, because, like, I get the idea. Like, very low center of gravity, probably wide, makes sense if you want to have an animal that big be in like more hilly terrain. The issue is just, like, I think this guy's too fat. It's like a low rider. This thing is gonna hit one bump and just bottom out.
It has
amazing visual.
I feel like this would work really, really well, like in the wetlands, just like waddling through the mud.
I think also the neck is probably a bit short, because if you look at it, it's probably gonna have to literally lean on its sternum to drink.
Or just go down on its elbows.
True, that could work.
Yeah, giraffe-like.
I like it. I just think, like, it should, if it is an animal, it should be a wetland sauropod.
Yeah, I think so too. Next one is less controversial. Crypto Titan, savage hidden titan. Something for the wetlands and rainforest by the looks of it. Looking at the distribution map. Yep.
Which
Typical.
Ironically would have worked better.
They should have switched distribution with this one. Your typical high browser, not too large, nice size, similar to medium-sized Reptile, I would say, roughly.
Yeah, about that size.
Fits pretty well. This one is maybe one of my favorite turtles. I have to say here, already teasing a little bit. This is very cool one. It's a side neck turtle, and you can see it down here in the sketch. When it's like side neck turtles can't retreat their neck like other turtles, so they instead like bend them around their carapace. But to still be fully protected, this guy has on one side of its neck these big spines that go outward, and we probably, I mean, if we include this, I think we have to look for a turtle-eating predator in that area. Because this must be a reaction to something. But yeah, a very, very cool idea. Loving this. More turtles by Cryodracon. Here, one more fancy than the other one. This is one of the weirdest looking turtles I have ever seen. Pseudodontocalis. The pseudo-toothed turtle. Very, very funny little thing. And then we have this marine turtle, a very big boy. Is it a protostate? No, it's a toxocalid. With a surprisingly large flipper claw here. Maybe for... Oh wait, it says here. Rotation of the claws. Flipper claws used to make food manipulation. Okay. Oh, they're feeding on echinoderms and stuff.
Ooh.
Oh, so like holding on to sea urchins and stuff when you try to bite into them, maybe. I could see it. Okay, and more turtles by Cridragon. More for the freshwater ways. Quite like the weird spiny rim on the upper one here. Very, very fun looking. And we have... Ooh, what are these, actually? I think these are lizards. Wait, what are these? I'm not sure.
I think they're albinorbitantid.
Oh, Oh, okay. Very large ones.
The green one, the one above it. That one is a really nice shape to it.
Yeah. Also with these spots. This is the spot gradient. It's very pleasing. Oh, yeah. But I also like the uppermost one here. It's a tiny one with its large head. It's a funny looking one.
That's Grunkle vibes.
Yep. Then we have some more frogs. Some little froggos. Yep. One here for quite like the skin here with the little spines and stuff. Cool stuff. More frogs of various groups. Enduring frog of the sand. Ooh, something for the deserts. Nice. And a very large frog. Fulgia bufo rugops. Ooh. Nice. Something that looks like it's going after insects. Large insects too. You can see down here next to human silhouette. That's some big spot rocket beetle. Fire spot rocket beetle. Okay. Mm-hmm. Large bioluminescent click beetle. Ooh.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Oh, hi, Nick.
Oh, hi, Nick.
Hello.
Welcome. Next we have...
I'm mostly here to listen, but...
Okay, yeah. I first thought this was a Sicilian. That would have been perfect time, but no, this is a blind water skink. Okay. And the earth-dwelling strange...
skink and a Sicilian.
Oh, wait, this is supposed to be... Oh, then blind water stick is then just... Oh yeah, it is a Sicilian. Yeah. Sicilian native to Lemuria's mega swarms and rivers. Okay.
Well, now I have to look.
Well, now
this complicates things.
This complicates things. Yeah. I mean, size-wise, this fits pretty well. Up to 40 centimeters long, roughly.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, that works.
And then there's a very noodly lizard.
Very noodly lizards. The noodle boys. This is followed up by a bunch of snakes of various kind. I see a boid, matzoid, yep. Nigerophid. Yeah. Good stuff. And I think these are iguanids. Some lizards.
Sphenodontians.
Oh, wait, there's the... Ooh. Sphenodontians that go, once again, the marine iguana road. Oh, they did that so much in the Jurassic.
Than you might think.
Indeed. Okay, nice. More lizards. Lots of lizards. Horny ones. Spiny ones.
What?
Yeah.
Prickly ones.
Prickly. And all sorts of scaly. Very cool. I like the chatchin this one little has down here.
Mm-hmm.
Then, we didn't have crocodilians for a while. It's time we got some. I think this is our first Mahajunga Sioux kit.
I think the one earlier was like one of the very first ones.
Oh, sure, we might have had one there, yeah. Although I think it wasn't labeled. But yeah, this is Mahajunga Sioux kits are one of my favorite group of crocodilians. Although we only have 2 of them, One is Mahajangasuchus, the other one is Caprisuchus. And I hope we get a few more over the years. But yeah, I'm always happy to see that people are experimenting with these guys because they are freaky and awesome. Okay, then we have an Unenlagin, I think. Yes, Unenlagin for Lemuria here with naked arms, interestingly. Very interesting idea. Very unusual. And I feel like the frontal view is some kind of reference. This reminds me of something. But
the Flatwoods monster.
Oh god.
That is literally just the Flatwoods monster.
My god.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you fooled me, Crydraker.
When the threat display works in 2024.
Indeed. And we have this guy, which is it is a paravian. Okay, wait. Where does it? To me, this looks like a short-snouted Unenlagin, but I'm not sure. Looks neat. Next, we have a Parancalosaur. Yay! With a very cool-looking tail weapon here, with these fused osteoderms forming kind of a paddle. And I think... Ooh. Okay, it's used for display, but also not just visually, but also auditory. Like shaking the tail to produce some sound with them, like the rattle of a rattlesnake. Very cool idea, for sure. And very, very nice osteoderm design overall on the whole body. The head looks to me a little bit too much like your typical Ankylosaur for some reason, but maybe that's just me. Yeah. More Paraankylosaurs here with some funky stuff going on in the tail. Very nice. And more Paraankylosaurs with even more spines on the tail. Then with some mammals. One of those being very long-legged. And one of them being very large-headed. Lemuria's false Dinogalerix. This is a cool idea. Pseudo-Dinogalerix, yeah. Very, very nice idea. And we, of course, have a Stegosaur by Crydragon with a ton of plates and spines all over it. I really like the shape of the Sagomizer here. This nearly scythe-like shape to them, to the spines. It's very cool. And some more crocodilians as well. Some smaller, some larger. It's a surprisingly slender-looking Simusukit, I have to say. Another one of our little herbivorous crocodilians. Then we transition to the Dino Nerd Boy with Armatosaurus, a bipedal or partially bipedal stegosaur. With some big claws on the front limbs to go digging. Doesn't quite work for me. I can't really see a fully or like even partially bipedal stegosaur works that well.
We do have some bipedal trackways.
We have some bipedal. That is true. But also like because the hands of stegosaurs only have 2 claws. So they are already reduced quite a bit there.
Yeah,
I can't really see them going like back on that and being like, oh wait, now we make these into digging tools, dedicated digging tools really. But it looks cool. I will not deny that. Also the idea to have like a 5th midline Sagomizer spine here is neat. And Decarex, I think Decarex... Decarex has more than one submission. True, yeah. I forgot. Orosaurus going in with a diving noasaurid, very otter-like in its vibes. Very nice. 2 species here. Then we have a dwarf stegosaur with very funky-looking sagomizer, like very nicely transitions into the back plates. There we have various terrestrial creatures here, from a mongoose-like mammal over this rather large herbivorous elasmarian, and I think that's an enantiornithine.
Looks like it.
I think it is one. Yeah. Enantiornithine, all here for the desert region. Then this very cool-looking arboreal elasmarian from the tropical rainforest. I love the monkey vibes this thing has. Very, very cool idea.
This is a gremlin that will steal your phone, break it into 50 pieces, and trade it back to you for 50 snacks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It has the mind of a Kia and the tools of an ape.
That's terrifying.
Indeed. Calliphanax then here, another genus of elasmarians. Also, I think these guys are more terrestrial. Oh yeah, they are diggers. Okay. Beautiful little creatures. I especially like the face of this guy here. It reminds me of something. They remind me of certain birds. Not frogmouths.
Putus?
Not pooties. God.
Nightjar?
Nightjars. Yeah, I think nightjars.
Yeah, nightjars.
Yeah. They have nightjar vibes, especially that one there. And in the Antiornithine, another one, bigger. I think it's not flightless, but it's more a ground bird like thing, and with enormous claws on the males. I like this idea to use the claws here for display and stuff. Also for defense, according to the description here. But to me, these look better equipped to do some display and intraspecific combat. Little mammal then, Eutherian for the maritime forest. Very, very cute little creature. And then Dianita here posted this, a Notosuchian, a beaked Notosuchian. I first thought this was an iguana relative, but no. As you can see by the number of claws on the forelimbs, this is indeed an very weird Notosuchian, crocodilian. Interesting idea. Then Dilo posted a mosasaur, of course he did, for the reefs, specifically for the coral reefs here, living in these very shallow waters, which is why it's a very small species. Nicely here also with a juvenile right next to it, and various like sketches of showing like in its environment, like living in tidal pools, moving between different sections of the reef, sometimes over land, like with its powerful flippers. Really, really nice little animal. And Dinodrama with this very elaborate looking Unenlagin, with the male having this casque or horn on its snout. Interesting idea, for sure. Also like this color reference down here with the little photo bashed thingy with different bird parts, most obviously cassowary. Also then Dinomaster with this big mammal. I'm not sure what group it belongs to. Body looks like something like an Gondwanas here, but the teeth tell a different story, so I'm not sure what we have here. Also by Dinomaster we have a paravian Hadrosaur with some massive armor plating here, honestly. I love the funny little face it has. Then some Abelisaurs with some strong sexual dimorphism, big horns on the male here, and by the looks of it, they are engaging in lots of intraspecific combat. tons of scars on that one. And some Unenlagins, also by Dinomaster. I like the idea of having like this very spiny tongue, like modern penguins for this.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Ooh, we are transitioning into Doomite. Ooh.
Oh, did I miss my submissions already?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Dang it. Dang it.
Dante Hells, born. Yes, we are going by alphabetical order of the creators, because otherwise it would be constant back and forth between creators. Here they come, indeed, Aberrantologist, starting with the Savannah environment submissions by Doomite. Doomite has, I think, nearly 20 submissions or something.
Wow.
With all in this very interesting style, and
I love this piece.
tons of interesting flora and fauna, starting here with these thorny savanna trees, big sauropod, as well as Pterosaur. In Antionicines, that is a little bit too large, maybe. Might need some downsizing, considering how.
The Sauropod is like still the second largest in the project.
Yeah. I mean, it fits the Savannah environment. I think
it has a vibe to it.
Yeah, I very much like the color schemes here and stuff. Next we have another. Oh yeah, true. There's this Stegosaur. Next Savannah submission we have Nyctosaurus, big tree. Again, I think this is it an.
What's the family name?
Oh no, it's Sucaticea. Okay. I don't think we have many for these guys. Stegosaur, Parankylosaur. I quite like the Parankylosaur. Looks very charming, I have to say. Again, Gronkel vibes. Then we have stuff for the reefs, as well as the carbonate platform here with various different fishes, small plesiosaur, of different kinds. Then you can also always see, I quite like this about Doomite stuff, in the background you always see the shadows of different submissions that he then has in different pieces. So there's always like all these pieces are like connected when they are happening in the same environment. We have big turtle, relative of Ossipecalon by the looks of it. Two of them actually. There's this funny little guy. We have big rudists. Rudis! Food for all sorts of big fishes. And more reef stuff here, and in extremely long-necked Elasmosaur. Mosasaur, shark, some fish, and marine snake. What a goober. More stuff for the reefs. We have some jellyfish too, and corals. What is number 2 actually? Is it also a coral? I think it's also a coral. It's a bit small in the moment. Then an idea by JW. Ammonites that fuse their tentacles into larger units for various reasons.
And some of which develop like tightly packed filaments for filter feeding. It's such a horrible collection of
it looks absolutely stupid. And there will be discussions about the feasibility of all of these, because it's certainly something. On the one hand, it's like completely different from anything we know today among most cephalopods. On the other hand, we don't have arms for...
Well, Nautilus did.
I mean, yeah, but nautiloids are weird and special, so it's.
But we don't have any ammonites.
Exactly. That's. But yeah, but on the other hand, ammonites are much closer to modern colloids, so it's. Yeah. There will be talks about this. More domite stuff here for the wetlands. Another big croc, small sauropod, a very funky looking turtle with a flat round head and some fish. Then more Lemuria wetland stuff, more sauropods, more pterosaurs. I quite like these pterosaurs. A very ghostly looking fish, and I think that's a very large footed noasaurid down there. It's number 2. Yes, it's noasaurid. More wetland and river submissions with these very cool aquatic plants that would float on the surface. I very much like the design of the flowers, and you can see in the background ghostly, like bigger specimens with long hanging roots that filter nutrients and stuff out of the water. Also, giant freshwater clams. Yay! More freshwater and river stuff. Big catfish and stuff. One of these guys is jumping out of the water. What is that? Ooh, it's a osteoglossid. Ooh, big osteoglossid going after some Pterosaur, Nyctosaur flying overhead. And we transition to the... What tier is it? Oh, open woodland and savanna. Okay.
I love that Titanosaur. It's fantastic.
Yeah, the Titanosaur looks tiny until you realize there is a human standing right next to it. So it's actually a rather sizable thing. The tree is just very large.
I think this might be the tree. Is this the tree that Bear Wrangle made?
They just do much stuff.
No, but I recall a collaboration between them. And the giant
maybe? There's Dumite made also some other trees.
Please correct me if I've made an error.
Yeah. Maybe something in the comments knows. Okay, Hugh needs to be science thinks it's a different name.
Oh, Dumite said they made a species of bear's tree. Yeah.
Okay. So who's tagging me?
Oh yeah, same genus, different species.
That's council stuff. Quickly looking just who tagged me. Okay. That was a little bit too late to tell me, didn't Dinomaster. Sorry, I just see this now. Okay, back to submissions. Okay, spiders and scorpions, many of them.
Shit.
Look away, Levi. No longer spiders. Instead, medium-sized herbivores and omnivores, by the looks of it, of all sorts, from forest environments.
What the hell is that second one? Is that an
That's an Enantiomycene, flightless Enantiomycene with Therizinosaur-like claws.
It's so cool. But
It is very cool.
Very derived.
However, for the Cretaceous...
I mean, if that guy comes back in like the years in the Oligocene,
Real.
If we have some stuff surviving in Enantiomycene, I mean, maybe we shall see. Who knows what Enantiomycenes could do with a few more million years to work with. The more temperate forest submissions here. Another Stegosaur, an extremely small sauropod down here. You probably missed it. And then also extremely small Paraankylosaur with an enormous head and beak.
and a tiny Abelisaur as well.
Yeah.
It's so small.
It's so tiny. I don't know why it is so tiny.
12.
Yeah.
He has my vote.
Then we have some stuff for the deeper parts of the large central lake of Lemuria, here with some certainly very bizarre submissions. Pelican eel-like amphibian, some fish, and some very cool-looking crustaceans.
Yeah.
Also, I think these are clams.
Of hermit crabs, but freshwater, which we have today.
Nice. Also, these little bioluminescent things in here are, I think, where ostracods? It's something by Petite that where that Dumite is using here as well. More stuff for the twilight zone of Lemuria's lake with tons of weird little critters, more amphibians, and a saurscate. I really like that saurscate. Cool stuff. Then Difrogus. Dumite's frogos are very good. My favorite probably is this one here with these very close together eyes. It looks extremely stupid, as a frog should be.
I love the tiny one.
The tiny one. It's just a blob.
Yes.
It's blobby. You will be fine. Then invertebrates. Really, really cool looking invertebrates. I don't even know what. Wait, is it a Sicilian?
These are roaches, but not termites. But it's an independent development of eusociality within termites and a Sicilian.
That is a weird looking Sicilian.
Hold on.
Does it have like a extra short tail?
Sicilians don't have tails.
Oh, well, some of them do.
Okay, but tiny.
Yeah.
It's like
basically you start with a head, you end with a butt.
Yeah, it looks very.
Yeah. It has a very small head for Sicilian.
That is true. Looks funny. Also, this is a very cool creature here. I think it's a beetle. But yeah, all these spines and stuff. It's.
I believe that's a larger species of roach, a non-eusocial one.
My God. Yeah, roaches. Yeah. For people who are not aware, roaches can be much more diverse than you think. Here's a big boy. Looks gnarly. Then we have pachycormids, a group that was more relevant in the Jurassic, but survived until the end of the Cretaceous. Yeah, because of the divergent point being earlier in the Cretaceous, maybe they were a little bit more successful until the end of the Cretaceous, which is why we have quite a few interesting species that were submitted here. Then we have all these stegosaurs. And yeah, probably none of them get in because only one can get in. I still don't know which one. But the likelihood isn't. You never know. Then we have tons of pterosaurs and some of these very cool little creatures. This is miscellaneous Lemurian life. Basically, all the ideas that Dumite wasn't able to put into any other things. I think my favorite here is that little Gondwanas here. The color scheme is just very pleasing.
Amazing.
Yeah. Then Dr. Mashika. With a few very charming little things here. A little Norasaurid with a long snoot, a little nose horn, like I'm liking the spots here. A small Pterosaur. Looks like it's flightless, which, by the way, I'm sorry, but I don't recommend that. Flightless Pterosaurs, at least outside of isolated island settings, unlikely. I mean, there's a reason why we, for example, don't have flightless bats. They don't work that well on the ground as birds do. Although pterosaurs were probably not as incompetent on the ground as once was thought, but still. Bats and pterosaurs are probably not the best when it comes to that. We have a few submissions of that, and I can all tell you already No flightless pterosaur is getting in. I'm sorry.
No flightless pterosaurs.
No flightless pterosaurs. We have this. I think this is a. Is this? I think this is a mammal. I think it is. Very. Wait, I think Dr. Mashika is here. Can tell us. It was intended to fly. Okay. Yes, rest in peace, flightless pterosaurs or razor. Rest in piss. None of you get in. Little mammals.
I
It
like
looks.
how the tail mimics tiny sauropod heads.
Yeah, that's
mammal.
That's funny little detail. Very, very Tamandua / anteater like. Then we have another sauropod, a small one, with very funky little eyes. It looks kind of like trying to do the hippo thing, with raised orbits and stuff.
It looks like a mud skipper.
Yeah, true. Yeah, mud skipper. A sauropod also, I like the big enlarged scales on the forelimbs. Then we have. Is it a snake? Yes, it's a matzoid. Spiny matzoid. Spiny matzoid eating eggs. Nice. Eggs. Then a very spiny sauropod. Medium-sized titanosaur. That's a lot of spines, damn. And this is a Notosuchian with very enlarged and funky-looking teeth. Very interesting idea. Notosuchians indeed sometimes did weird stuff with their teeth. This Dr. Mashika, I'm sorry, but is this an image for ants? I can tell by the lines on the paper how large this drawing is. Come on.
Verging on my territory.
Exactly. Only Dynamoterra can do this. It's an echinoderm.
No, I'm generous.
No. In this context, only you can do it. So that's a natural law. Oh, I accidentally saved it twice apparently. Then another sauropod, dwarf sauropod, very small.
Yep.
Looks like partially bipedal at least, and with a tail fluke. We're getting funky in here. Damn. Then these. Oh wait. Oh, these are rays. I first thought they were horseshoe crabs. Very similar from above. Yeah. Then small, slender-limbed crocodile, another Notosuchian. Very nice. And I think this is also not Notosuchian. Noasaurid. I think it's Noasaurid. It's a little spotty boy. Look at it go. Oh, and a tick. I'm not even sure we have tick on the clade list.
We do.
We have? Okay,
Yep.
good.
And is that the osteoderm mimicking tick?
It's a couple of centimeters long.
Oh jeez, that's terrifying.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. Yeah. Mistaken for a sauropod osteoderm. Just to think about it. Yeah. Next up, Pterosaur. Little guy. Very small Pterosaur. Very, very nice. And we also have something colored from Dr. Mashika. Here, a snake. A marine snake. I like that yellow stripe on the neck. Cool beans.
Like a ringneck snake.
Yes. And we have this submission by Dylan. Lemuria sucus, a Notosuchian. Small Notosuchian from the savannas and steppes. I love that derpy little face it has. Oh, and with that, we go to Dynamoterra. Hold on to your butts. This will be a lot. We are starting with cicadas. I mean, true, yeah, Pectinodon has more. Pectinodon has over 50. All submitted on the last day. Oh my god, it was a pain to save them all. Anyway, this is a call-out post. Yes, Pectinodon, please submit them next time, not all at the same time. Please. Anyway.
Nah, it was all at the same time.
We have a bunch of cicadas in all sorts of life stages, nymph as well as adults. We have a bunch of, I think these are grasses? Yes, grasses of all sorts. For people who are not aware, we have grasses from the Mesozoic.
These are not proper grasses, though. These are bulrushes, cattails.
I mean, it's the same for me. Close enough.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah. We actually have remains of grasses from the Cretaceous, specifically also from India, where we have some also from Titanosaur coprolites. So we know
those were specifically in the rice tribe.
Yeah, specifically from the rice family, and so they were already around, and they were dinosaur food. We have some frogs, good little frogs, more grass relatives here. I especially like that big one up there with the side-like leaves. That's some fun stuff. Tons of trees of all sorts, Lauraceae in this case. A lot to populate woodlands with. Then some aquatic stuff. I quite like this, especially the plant. I think I like the plant the most out of these, honestly. Although the turtle is also a really cool thing with the big claws. And is that a source gate?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Aren't you pressed it? Yeah. Very funky nose. Looks a little bit like a lantern.
No, it's a bird.
Each very nice schnoz. Then we have, of course, the roaches of all kinds. I like that pink one. Funny little one. More grasses and mammals. The Eutriconodontids. Nice. Some of the small carnivorous mammals we would have during this time of the Cretaceous. More plants, angiosperms. Euphorbidaceae here with even some trees. Nice.
Euphorbidaceae is stupidly diverse.
It's so stupid.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Succulent rock to a tree.
Yeah, euphorbia is like, half of all plants basically. At least it feels like it when you go through its diversity. And some ants. Ants. These are large ants. God damn, 5 centimeter scale bar there. My God.
Basal specumurmine ants.
Nice. Some burp enantiomycines. Oh wait, no, these are not enantiomycines. These are neornicines. Inclina cauda. Did you make that family up?
Yes.
Some endemic creatures.
An endemic clade of close to true birds, like on the stem of true birds anyway.
Albert would appreciate that. Then we have more mammals. Euceria, basal ones. A little bit like lagomorphs looking, a little bit.
Kind of like a mix between a rodent and an elephant shrew.
Yeah. Funny little hoppers.
They go boing.
Yeah, they go boing. Podocarps of all sorts, trees and shrubs. Very cool. We have the worms for the worm zone. Please take a look at the scale bar here and despair. A lot of these guys. Then back to small stuff. We have iguanids, small lizards, not powerful, colorful little creatures of all sorts. Then what are these? Aphids. Oh my god, aphids. Animals we will probably never really see in these images.
I mean, you can put some dots on a leaf, I suppose.
Yeah. In the leaf litter, you can have some. More trees, plantains of different kinds, from shrubs to big trees. Some acanthacea with very nice little looking flowers, and crocs, tons of crocs. What are these? Neosuchians. Oh boy, these
An
are
endemic family of Neosuchians.
Yeah, and the big boy down here is, I think, close to Pterosaurus in size.
I did downsize it.
Okay.
Originally,
I see you made the you changed the scale bar.
Still big.
Very big, absolutely. Bunch of these. Lemurisuchus. Oh my god, how many genera with Lemuri or Lemuria do we have at this point? I think at some point we have to count them. There's so many. Then scorpions, and this time hopefully we will not have them go extinct.
That'd be hard to
Then
do.
some flies of different kinds. I like the pink-eyed one. Nematodes, because why not? The most low effort of all submissions. It's just squiggly lines. And they are tiny. Then we have...
They're not the smallest.
Not the smallest, true. That's still to come. We have these guys here, mantids. More, bryophytes, mosses of different varieties. Very important, oftentimes overlooked. Probably because it's just some green speckles in the background. Oh, now we come to the smallest stuff. Microbes.
The only scale bar in microns.
200 microns. Oh,
that's pretty big.
God. Yeah. We have other stuff that is on the microscopic level, but that's by petite, and that's diseases, which have symptoms that are visible on the macroscopic level. So it's getting around that issue. But yeah. Then we have, going back to the macro level, a paraankylosaur with very interesting looking horns on its shoulders and head. A cool looking snake. A bee. Or wasp. Bee or wasp?
Yeah, it's a little bee.
It's a bee. Okay, very colorful. Living in burrows. Very cool. Is that I think that's a Gondwanasir number 3. Yeah, Gondwanasir.
Yeah.
And it's sharing its burrow with a little lizard in the back. Very nice. Medium-sized terrestrial iguanid. Okay. Nice. Open woodland stuff. Tons of turtles. Of course, bosromyids. Common creatures back in the Cretaceous. Big ones in this case as well. Over a meter in length. Oh boy. Flower beetles. Colorful flower beetles. Oh, we could probably put like billions of these guys in every image, but that would take...
They would be dots.
Yeah, dots, unless I increase the file size to gigabytes. Then shrimp, because of course we need shrimp. Many of them. Then we go back to plants with stuff from... this is some... I see some satch in here. Stuff
this
from...
is all for the cold steppe.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I don't think we have that much vegetation for it, so this will be nice to fill these blank spaces with. More insects. These look like little grasshoppers. very colorful little grasshoppers. Oh, little crickets. It says there. Little crickets. More nematodes. Oh god. Then fish. Perciforms of all sorts. Colorful little fish. For I think for the freshwater.
they're freshwater.
Yeah.
Found
areas.
across Lemuria.
Yeah. Then fungus gnats for all the fungus lovers out there. Then more plants and insects. I especially like this this guy down here. This plant. That's for the wetlands. Araceae. What is it? It's a carboniferous, not carnivorous, a carnivorous plant, isn't it?
No, that is a plant that intentionally has like hollow spaces.
Oh, it offers shelters for the ants. Okay, nice.
Indeed.
Good. And
they're waterproof ants, very important, so they don't get flooded.
Yeah. For people who are not aware, there are actually modern day ants that are specialized swimmers and divers. A rare thing, but it happens. Then some more bees, followed by more flowers that they probably go pollinating on. Herbaceous plants, Lamiaceae. Nice.
Mint family.
Good. Something to smell. And these look like more roaches.
Indeed.
Yeah, some more roaches. Some of them very round. Nice.
And 2 of them are parthenogenic, the ones that have only
females
drawn. Which happens occasionally in roaches.
The Dark Master, the Dark. How does Dynamo do it? I don't know. But also other people have similar amounts of entries, so ask them. It's not just Dynamo, I can tell you that. Oh wait, I forgot to talk about this. This is the last one of Dynamo's submissions. We have some crocodilians, more plants, an amphibian, and a little burrowing crab. Nice. Fossuri carcinus. Very good. Oops. Then Tuzit Hammers posting this. I think it's an enantiornithine, but I'm not sure. Also, it might be be more derived. I'm not sure. Again, one of these submissions without text on them. Unfortunate. But I really like the style here of a museum specimen. Like freshly opening the drawing and having this. Also, it gives you a good view of like how wide the bill is and everything. And with that, we go to Igor Lip with this Macrovenator Masiacosaurine. So Noasaurid. But a big boy. Oh my god, it's 11 meters long. That's an enormous theropod to be a Noasaurid. Then this giant amphibian Lemuria proteus. Amphibian of some kind. It doesn't say here. Maybe it says on the post. I think this is from DeviantArt. I will need to check. A very, very large amphibian, probably living in very deep water, considering how it is white and has red gills, probably speaking for it living in very dark, lightless conditions. Then he also submitted another Paraankylosaur. I quite like the design of the tail weapon here with these fused osteoderms. Looks a little bit like a turtle carapace. How these are like forming one solid weapon.
I've noticed actually in this submission and the previous one, he meant this person mentions a stone forest, which I think is not a habitat we ever mentioned.
No. Is it maybe something that they came up with and is in the texts? I mean, we had it before that people like basically invented their own habitats, and sometimes they were canonized, sometimes not.
Yeah.
Don't know. We'll need to have a look at that again. Then Andy, with these two very cool-looking fishes from the armpit reefs. That's this area in Lemuria. We call it the armpit reef because it is basically the armpit of Lemuria. And we have here rudist reefs and coral reefs overlapping, which creates this unique faunal composition. This is something we will unfortunately not visit in our morals over the next few weeks, but yeah.
There's plenty of fan art potential.
There's plenty of fan art potential indeed, and we will also canonize some of this stuff in hindsight. So even if it's not on the images, you can look and on a list of things that made it in despite not being on the images. Okay. These two cool-looking fishes are followed up by three more fishes. Pycnodons, all three of them, one of them looking extremely well armored. And then Fancy has a lot of creatures in here as well. Starting with this Enantiornithine. Looks like it's a ground bird. Based on the rather small wings. Although it has very interesting looking feet. That looks more like a climbing bird. Yeah, tropical rainforest and wetlands.
Maybe it is a climbing bird.
Maybe.
What letter were we going to today?
We will go to J. Yep.
Fair enough.
Yeah, then Fancy, with very fancy looking Majungasaurin, Striatorostrum. Very nice looking.
Sorry to interrupt, but we just passed by E.
Yes.
Certain submissions weren't on there, funnily enough.
True. I guess I have to go back and save these. Weird. I swear I saved them.
I think I will be heading off for tonight.
Fair enough.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. See you.
Yep. See you tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Turtles. Turtles by Fancy. Two of them here. Very funky looking creatures. With very flat little heads. Very nice. Then in Darket, I really like how the integument looks on this one. Liturorhynchus. By the distribution map, I would say this guy lives at the very edge of the continental shelf for some reason. How is it living there? Maybe it's just feeding there and coming back to the mainland or something. Also, that's, I mean, it's a whole continent, so there is there's hundreds of kilometers between the rim of the platform and the mainland, oftentimes here. People who are used to our previous spec evil products might not be used to this. Then Jaculomorphis Vegavit. I don't think we had many Vegavits yet. Here being an aquatic bird that goes after some fish. Plesiosaur, really nice, an Aristonectine, one of the smaller Aristonectines we have, I think. Very pleasing looking head shape, I have to say. Aristonectines are famous for being filter feeding elasmosaurs. Then, another elasmosaur with very gnarly looking teeth, I have to say. Very much liking the head shape here. Very cool. And a platycarpine, a very long-snouted mosasaur, very small one, very cool, living in the central lake. And we have an ammonite, very saxophone-shaped, very cool, loving the stripes. Another noasaurid with funny-looking teeth and rather short limbs, rather short legs, I have to say. Interesting. Then we have larger gondwanas here, up to 75 centimeters long. That's a big boy. And I think this is ginkgo. Cordyliformis. Ooh, what's these guys? Heavily armored lizard, up to 15 centimeters long. Nice, nice. And slipper lobsters, yes, yes, some of the best crustaceans. They are so goofy. And then Fang. Fang only was able to do one submission, which is these guys here, some small alpine sauropods, plus these little Lemurians here that are crawling over the mountain sides, and a little burb. But I don't think that's an Enantiornithine, based on its plumage. I think that's closer to modern birds, but I'm not sure what family he tries to portray here. But yeah, nice little landscape piece here, giving overview of the environment these guys would inhabit. And Feller with a bunch of very bizarre creatures. Feller has some of the most creative creature designs, surely. And we will have a look at them in a moment. But first I have to go to the toilet and get something new to drink because my throat is getting sore. Back in a second.
And with that, I'll probably hop off for a little bit.
Okie dokie.
I'll see you guys around.
Mm-hmm. This has now become Dynamo Terror's stream. I wonder how many of us will survive. He who needs to silence, has an interesting question. How old do we think this person is? Since their birthday is in a week. Latinivenatrix, will the stream go over the large animals? We are just going through all of the submissions by the alphabetical order of the person's name, so we'll get through half of them, hopefully, today. Although there's well over 900, so we're hoping for just over 400. And we're only on F. The Dark Master the Dark. Joshua said he'll probably be putting it on YouTube, hopefully, maybe. And yes, J is not halfway through the alphabet, but you have to remember, a lot of people have usernames that start with A, so there's proportionally a lot more in the first chunk of the alphabet. Oh, El Squibinator, your creatures are under T. Okay, there's still a chance. There is still a chance.
There's always a chance. Unless there isn't.
Oh no. It's become Yashua's stream again.
I return. I got myself some ice cold tap water because it's better than sparkling water from my voice. Blah, blah, blah. The word's already slipping.
Noise voice.
The noise voice. Because I make noises with my mouth. Okay, let's have a look what Feller posted. Here with these fantastic little creatures. We have another Simosuchus relative here that is, I think, one of our most colorful crocodilians in this world project so far. This very charming looking Unenlagin, then this very funky lizard for the deserts, I think, and this extremely ananguerid looking Nyctosaurine, I think. I think in his first version of this thing and still had teeth, and then we made him aware that, hey, no toothed pterosaurs here, and then they were removed. Very, very funky things. And it continues like this. We have this very interesting looking Atstarkid, a large toothed Noasaurid, and a very charming looking Gondwanas here, I think this is, judging by head shape and body and body shape. And we have this very large last stegosaur. I really like the pattern on the plates, and also this large fish. Judging by these being together, I think they are both supposed to live in the wetlands with a stegosaur punting like some hippo, I think. Okay, next we have again lots of very cool looking creatures. I like that mammal with the big eye spots on its butt, but also that's a fantastic looking crocodilian with these big tusk like teeth, and I'm not sure what Gregsaurus is. It looks very much like an... Is it an Alismarian?
Maybe.
The hand look very ornithischian-like. I think it's an Alismarian. It's a very Oviraptorosaur looking Alismarian, if that's true. And there's another little crocodilian in here. And we have some plants too. Williamsoniason Benedictalian with very, very large flowering organs, reproductive organs. That's a fantastic idea, I have to say. And we also have some sauropod stuff, as well as this extremely funky looking Abelisaur. I have to say this is one of the more interesting sauropod submissions we got, with this very weird looking snout and the hippo-like eyes. On top of that, another, I think it's a Vegavid Flacornis. Also, I think it might have teeth. Not sure. And another Atstarkid. More funny looking carnivorous animals, plus a Parankylosaur with very many spines on its shoulders. I think I especially like that Diablosuchus down there, although it is maybe a little bit too colorful to work. And then small stuff like this really tiny Nyctosaur. I think down below it, that's another Sicilian. And next to it in green is a roach, if I remember correctly. Although we discussed this before, it doesn't really work as a roach.
Honestly, I could see it being a weird stick bug.
That could work better, maybe, yeah.
This is where we put information on the images.
Exactly. Also, hi, Petite. Oh, let me take another sip.
Yes, hello.
Okay. Okay, that was the last one by Feller. Next, we have Fork. Fork submitted this beautiful little Unenlagin. Unfortunately, also without further information on the piece, but it looks fabulous. Very, very charming little critter. Then Fossil Adder.
Ingen Gojira.
Yes. With Fossil Adder is one of these people with many submissions, so we will go a little bit faster through them. We have here a very nice Pycnodontiform, followed by a baculited ammonite with lots of cirri on its tentacles. Another Pycnodontiform, a more colorful one. Another ammonite with some spines on its main tentacle arms here. Another Pycnodontiform with lots of spines around its head this time. Very cool. More Pycnodons plus some bival. Then, this is showing some behavior here between these two, as you can see, with the bival luring in the fish, apparently.
Yes. And then capturing it, and then squirting its babies all over it.
Yippee! That's also a way to become a father. Then Pachycormid here with relative of... this looks very similar to what's it called here? The last of the Pachycormids.
An old reconstruction of Bonorictes.
Yeah, this looks very similar to some Bonorictes illustrations. Yeah. After that, what is this actually? It's a crustacean for sure. Branchiopodon. Okay. There are many of these smaller boys in here.
Yeah, it's a clam shrimp.
Yeah. Another branchiopod. That looks more like a trilobite, though. Raptocaris, cool name. And then more. Brachiopods. Some brachiopods. Nice. We don't have that many brachiopod submissions, so this is a nice change of pace. Some very cool spiny ones in here as well. More ammonites. Was like an ambush predator here, as well as this one with these long spiny tentacles. Very cool. We have a mosasaur from the reefs, one of the smaller ones. Active here, ecology apparently, active predator with some interesting sexual dimorphism in the face. Then some scolopendrids with very, very large antennae, and I think they are semi-aquatic.
I believe so.
They are from the wetlands, and one of them has hydro in the name, so probably semi-aquatic. Very cool. Then we have, I think these are some sponges. Some of them very large sponges. Ooh-ha. Damn. Another ammonite here, a baculited, that interestingly looks more like some of its distant relatives from the Paleozoic, some orthocerids. More ammonites, some spiny, some less spiny, also very big ones. Oh boy, these are big ones. Then feather stars. Very nice. Something we don't have that much. Also, probably because we don't have it on the list. Spheropus, another gastropod here. Snail, marine snail. Fish, many fish. Some of them very cool looking here with the many spines here in number 1. Abyssognathus. I feel like Abyssognathus is already a thing, but I'm not sure. This feels like something that should be already a thing. Then more crustaceans, with many little crab claws, and an Unenlagine, quite large one. Yeah, really like the head shape here on this one. Acrocanthus. What is this actually? It's a perciform. God, that's a big one. Large perciform. Yeah, something for our deep sea or deep lake. Yeah, the abyssal plain. Gigantocladus. Ooh, this is also something for the central lake. A bryozoan. Ooh, that's a big one. And an Enantiomycene. Also, again, a rather large one. Very flamboyant. I like the green tones here used on the male. Very cool. More crustaceans and a large, I think that's a sponge. Very large sponge. And a flatworm. Very big flatworm. Ooh, shallow regions of the... Ooh, this might be photosynthetic based on the color of the sky. Nice. Then, oh god, there's so many. Ostracods, of course, are a thing. Also something for the central lake. Coming in different sizes and shapes. Quite large ones. Damn, up to 3 centimeters long. That's enormous ostracods. Yeah. We have some non-mosasauroids here, or stem snakes, as you might also call them. Some relatives of Mesolaptors. Also, everyone who just subscribe to the channel, hello there. Welcome to Palestream. Thank you for the follow. Sorry, I can't look in the moment. Then we have Nyctosaurs. Lots of Nyctosaurs, male and female here. I very much like the male crest here. That feathery look to it is quite charming, and I like the reddish brownish coloration. And tons more archosaurs and a little thing down here that looks like it might be crustacean. Hydrocaryx, Caris, Titanosaur. What is number 3? I think it's the mammal. Ooh, Dynamo, where did your voice go? You sound so far away.
Oh, whoops.
Don't worry. Yeah, and Elasmarian, Titanosaur. All good stuff. And lots more Fossil Adder posted these later on again separately, but because I had to save so many of these things, I didn't feel like saving them all again separately, so I have them now in bulk. With pachycormids, noduloids, a pyrozoan, a tunicate here, which is really cool. We don't have many of these, so that's a nice thing to have. Another interesting looking, I think it's crustacean here, with weird appendages. Okay. 31 submissions by Fossil Adder. And now Fukuna Yuki has, I think, 2 submissions. One being a Majunga Saurine here. I quite like this guy. Very classy look with that green and pinkish reddish wattle. Very nice. Also with these little large feature scales all over the body. Oh wait, no, it was only 1 submission. I misremembered. On the other hand, though, we have here fun-sized yeet with this very interesting snake submission. These guys have, I think they are like specialized scales or like egg teeth that they retain into adulthood and that they use for fighting and producing noise, apparently. Really, really interesting idea.
Back to eggs.
Sorry, what?
And they go back into eggs. They live and give birth inside sauropod eggs.
Oh, I see it just down here. Yeah. That is an interesting idea for sure. Like because like sauropod eggs would be so large and it's also so numerous that they could turn into their own microhabitats, basically. Really interesting idea. Might be sometimes tricky to find a fitting egg, I would think, because like hatched eggs, they I think is oftentimes not that much of them. Although by the looks of it, these snakes might go after some leftover eggs that didn't hatch, or they break into the eggs and.
I think they break into living ones.
Yeah. So yeah, that would make sense with the egg tooth being permanent in these guys to break open other eggs, not just their own. It's a very interesting idea, for sure. I think to fit into sauropod eggs, the female might be a little large, because like a sauropod egg at most is like football sized, and these guys rolled up would be larger than a football. So if we make this canon, we will probably need to change the size a little bit, downsize a little bit. But yeah, one of the most creative snake submissions we got for sure. Then we have Gaps. Gaps, unfortunately, being an incredible artist, but left no descriptions on his images, which makes this sometimes a little tricky. But the images oftentimes also speak for themselves. We start with arboreal Atstarkids. Very funky little things. They are like monkey Atstarkids, basically. Fantastic little creatures. And we have these very fun-looking ammonites. They are called mustard squid here. They look very much like ammonites, so I don't think they are anything else. But
yeah, I think it's just a common name.
Yeah. Then we have a bivalve. Oh, what? No, I think it was a rudist. Yeah, I mean, rudists are bivalves, but this rudist mimicking that particular ammonite. I'm not sure for what purpose. I don't remember the description in the moment, but very, very creative approach.
It males in and then like squirts him with its babies or something.
Damn! Again, beautiful. We have a lot of clams and oysters and stuff here. Gaps really went all out with these. Some of these are these are the lesser, less bizarre ones. There's some really cool stuff in here. Here we go with some more interesting looking ones, especially this very long one here, hidden in the silt, probably in the tidal zone. We have some of these boys here, sometimes with lots of spines and ridges and stuff. More Atstarkids, more arboreal Atstarkids. Here a little bit more refined, not just sketches. As you can see, with combining like all the weird lanky stuff you see with arboreal creatures, and the bizarreness of pterosaur anatomy, all brought together in this beautiful frame. I especially like, I think, this one in flight. That's a very cool color scheme. Then more bivalves, more sessile organisms. We have some oysters here, some very large pinna species, stuff like that. Very, very, very cool animals. These guys, I think, I'm not sure what some of these are. I think these are rudists. These two. This one, I'm not sure what this is. But
also
yeah.
Quickly, Josh.
Yeah.
Fossilator said earlier that the sponges and corals, which you went over earlier, were actually all tunicates.
Oh, they were all on tunicates. Oh, okay. Yeah. Should have added the description. Yeah. Oh wait, I think there were descriptions, but I didn't. Yeah. No, my bad. My bad. Ignore me. I have done this for too long already. Although we're getting closer to the midline. Then plants, epiphytes, several kinds here. Very, very cool. I love that Gaps also includes some detail on fruits here, like this enormous fruit for one of his plants. I really like this. I think these are the fruit of this tree here in particular. Really, really large thing. Interesting to behold. Then we have more pterosaurs, more Arthdarchids for shallow water areas. I think especially for the coastal areas. And then this guy. I'm not sure the green-footed Ertin. What that is? That.
It's got claws. So I assume an enantiornithine.
Yeah, supposedly true. That's probably an enantiornithine, and then the spotted pygmy saw shark here, coming in, trying to catch it. So this is a nocturnal shallow water scene. Very, very cool. More sessile underwater creatures still. This is you could fill wool ecosystems just with Gap stuff. And then we have here, I think this might be the last one from Gaps, and Unenlagin, that looks suspiciously happy standing there on the branch. It's a very charming looking creature. Okay, then G-Dog has this polycotylid that appears to be specialized in probing into holes in coral reefs and stuff, looking for stuff in there to grab and draw out very nicely. I like the white stripes on the flank here. It's always good. Racing stripes always look good on plesiosaurs. Then we have Ginger J, another person with many submissions. So let's go through them. Having started here with some very nice Arthdarchids with some funky builds. Then we have a bird. I don't think this is an enantiornithine. Looks more modern. And I love the stylization here of the legs. They're just lines at some point. More lanky Arthdarchids here, male, and this is a female. This is a male in breeding colors. Interesting to take that into account, like that plumage can change with season. These absolute goobers. Little Arthdarchid species that live in like mud and what-like areas, probing for invertebrates, and maybe some small fish and crustaceans as well. You see here some variation in the bill shape, which is really nice. Very reminiscent of modern-day shorebirds. I have a small Nyctosaur here living also in the coastal areas. I quite like here the human scale person in the background having like this motion blur to it, like giving a feeling of these guys really swooping by very quickly. More very cool looking Nyctosaurs, male and female alike. Fish, many colorful fish. Ginger J has produced so many very cool, very colorful fish species here. Just from this family alone, so many. of them. I'm not sure we will get them all in, or how many of them we can canonize. But yeah, as you can see, these would be very popular in aquariums if they were a thing in the Cretaceous. Then we have mosasaurs. Very colorful mosasaurs, like Ginger J did probably the most colorful mosasaurs in all of Lemuria. Here, these guys are from the northern half of the carbonate platform, living in the reefs and in the shallows. And we have also some bigger species here, plus lots of cool-looking ammonites. Then we have these mosasaurs, extremely derived forms, living, as you can see from the distribution map, not just in Lemuria, but all of the Lemurian not continent, ocean. I mean, it can't be the Indian Ocean because India is not a thing. Very long snooted. Very cool idea. And we have also this enormous species, which might be a little bit too large. But that's something to discuss on future streams. More very, very small mosasaurs. I love these little goobers for the freshwater environments, especially the lakes and rivers in the center of the continent. More marine reptiles in the form of polycotylates and some aristronectines here, also with some fish, and a juvenile of that enormous mosasaur from earlier in here as well. More ammonites with very cool colorations, even more ammonites with cool colorations, very, very much loving the stripy arms here, very mesmerizing to look at. And I think this is the last one by Ginger J. Even more ammonites going all out on these cephalopods here, playing also now with some bioluminescence and very cool tentacle lengths here. I think these are all baculites. I think I especially like the color scheme here on the central one, the big one. That's really cool. Oh wait, no, there's still more to come. Pycnodontiforms, of course. For all the reefs. These colorful goobers here. And okay, no, it's okay. We transition to glaive with this very gnarly looking rhynchocephalian for the subterranean parts of the dry savannas and deserts. Very, very cool. Like the tuatara-like spines, making it very reminiscent of modern day rhynchocephalians, but then with your own twist on it. That's always good. Then this another rhynchocephalian. Ooh, a long-snooted one. Nice. Trying to bring these guys back after like falling a little bit from the diversity grace after the Jurassic. Like in the Cretaceous, most rhynchocephalians look very much tuatara-like, and then you only have that one in New Zealand in the end. And oh god, another rhynchocephalian. Semi-aquatic ambush predator. I see Glaive tries to make some Crocodiles 2.0 in a way. Interesting. And that brings us to Nas. Nas, our mammal master, only going for small and medium-sized mammals. There is a lot of work that went into all of these, and unfortunately we don't really have the time to go into detail, but I can tell you there is so many cool little things in here, and a lot of diversity. I mean, just visually too. If you guys here, Petit and Dynamo, have some favorites or so, just chime in and tell me if I missed something.
Honestly, all of them are amazing.
Yeah. I mean, just the shape of this Trigonodontian with all its spiny fur and stuff. Yeah, this is stuff for the alpine regions and so on. Like, or this other Triconodontian with bumpy stuff going on its head, like keratinized pads or something probably. We have from the temperate rainforest here some bizarre creatures. This down here is Sudamericanidae, with some bizarre elongated forelimbs and this weird stuff going on the face here. Really cool things that NAS already put into the Mesozoic stuff here. We will see how much we can put in. This is probably one of my favorites here. With these long forelimbs and this mane and then the red on the face. Mwah. Beautiful color combination. Very interesting group that's in the working here. And if they make it into the Oligocene, who knows what funky stuff we can evolve from these. Some arboreal stuff, as well as for stuff for the forest floor here, interior rainforest. Lots of cool things. People who follow these challenges for a while will know that NAS always puts lots of creative little twists into his mammals, and now he expanded also to the color part of his drawing. So that's a welcome change of pace. Then we have more stuff from Lemurian rainforests here with some larger stuff as well, like 60 centimeter long herbivore and relative of Adalacerium. This little guy again with some lumpy stuff going on the head. Who knows what? I have to look more into these. Like, Ness put so much work into this. More stuff for the savannas too. Here some stuff looks a little bit like hyraxes and stuff, or wombats a little bit. We have some oh god, this guy again with the spiny fur and the stripy face. That's cool. This is very funky looking droopy face for this Haramiridae fella. Then we have another group specifically for Lemuria. Too much. This looked quite mole-like, living on hot deserts. Fossorial. With these big arms and big claws. Very cool. Ooh, here too, like, I think I really like this one, 50 centimeter long Sudamericanidae. Like a little bit boar-like, but with these tiny horns on its snoot. Maybe for digging up roots and stuff. From all stuff from the highlands. Another group, among other things here, a gliding one. It looks a little bit like it's going towards Pterosaur with an elongated finger, or it's more like a styliform element.
Oh, it is a
It is a finger. Okay, yeah. Udem, yeah. Okay, so it's a mammal trying to be a pterosaur, basically. Mixture of gliding squirrel and pterosaur. Very cool. Look at all these boys. Triconodontidae specifically here, going into them with their long snoots. Arboreal stuff and stuff specifically from the wetlands. So many guys here. Way too much to choose from, honestly. More Lemurian wetland creatures. This one here looking a little bit like a platypus. Oh boy. Yeah, Ness I think did over 20 of these. 5 each. Here from the Madagascar coast. I mean, it's not Madagascar, but this is basically a part of the map here. Would be today Madagascar. So specifically going into mammals from these regions and stuff like that. Really cool. The Pakistani desert, or rather what today would be Pakistan. Stuff like that. Playing a lot with color and integument. These guys. Here. Yeah. Not over 20. 19 submissions. More you know. Okay, then we have one submission by Goji. Posting a Noasaurid with very short limbs and a surprisingly long tongue. Very, very funky little creature. And we have Groglodite with this Notosuchian for the hot step. A very robust looking fella with tons of osteoderms over tail and neck. And interesting, like, they are covered up typically for Notosuchians on the back, but then exposed on tail and neck. That's an interesting idea. We have this very interesting creature by Helicoprion dentist. It's a Titanosaur with a like retro Trachodon like face.
Do not let Levi see this.
He has seen it. Yeah. Thankfully he's already gone to bed. So he, yeah. Very, very fun little creature. 10-meter long. We are in the team. I'm very sorry, but we think this might be a little bit too derived for a Titanosaur. It is a really cool creature design, though. Yeah, very fun thing. Okay, He Who Needs to Be Silenced is next. Again, with a ton of submissions, for which I will need a few more sips of water. Okay. Starting with a Pycnodont. A very long Pycnodont. Very unusual for these guys. A very interesting idea. I very much like these butterfly wing-like dorsal fins. That's a really cool touch. Here's some longer text. I actually saved this one. Oftentimes I don't save these additional pieces, like just the distribution map or stuff like that, because it just clogs up my folder otherwise with stuff. Please, if you have a distribution map, put it on the piece, not as an extra image. Thank you. But this will be all in the posting guide also for next phase. Okay. Diving opposite sparrows then here. Enantiomycenes trying to be a passerines basically in the uplands. Oops, sorry, by the looks of it. Yeah. Very, very cool little creatures. Oh god. I drank wrongly. Now I have a slight hiccup. Alright. Micro-Titan. From one of these little islands here. Again, an endemic Titanosaur. Very small, 4 meter long Titanosaur. Very, very cool idea. I love it. It's basically a Titanosaurian dachshund. Then we have a bunch of ammonites, corkscrew looking things, and this one that is basically has a pretzel knot in its shell. I don't know how that would grow, but it looks cool. Oh, true, there was this one species that grows basically into crevices in the reef and becomes semi-sessile. Yeah, really weird stuff in here. Then
Well, it becomes sessile until it isn't.
yeah, Yeah, and that part is maybe where my suspension of disbelief is kind of broken a little bit. But that's something for another stream. We have small Nyctosaurus here. We have this very cool looking Para-Ankylosaur with reduced armor, which is an interesting idea. We have, of course, another Spinosaur, Stegosaur, and your usual Abelisaur and Noasaurids. This Abelisaur looks to be like from the swamps.
Maastrichtian Spinosaur.
Yeah, Maastrichtian Spinosaur, not on my watch. We have, this is interesting, we have another Atsdarkid mimicking Nyctosaur. For reasons I mentioned earlier, I think this is unlikely. However, we also have a very cool looking small coelacanth that appears to be digging partially. Or is it? I think that's, yeah, that looks like a burrow. Another frog, relative of Falcata kelly, and we have another burp here that looks like an early Antheriform. Then marine stuff. We have giant clams that basically become... wait, is it a clam? Oh no, it's a false limpet. Oh fuck. Oh damn. And they become basically small mobile reefs at some point. Very cool idea. We have small mosasaurs and a tiny Cotyrinkids here, micro-Cotylos, for the reefs and lagoons, plus some... sorry, what?
You called the little fella a Cotyrinkids?
Oh, sorry, goddamn. I have talked for too long. But yeah, we another bird here, another Noasaurid that appears to be a semi-aquatic, with a paddle tail. Yeah, and so many more. We have some eagle or cowray looking rajiforms here. Some lizards. This medium-sized Atdarkix that's living alongside the shorelines of the rivers. Quite large Ostrocods. My god, that's a big one. And an Unenlagin with an interesting broadened snout tip. Very cool. We have, unfortunately, freshwater ammonites. For reasons that are too complex, I have to say, that's probably impossible. Cephalopods are really, really bad at going into anything but salt water. But they look very pretty. Then we have, from the carbonate platform, a bunch of small nautiloids. And not so small nautiloids. The bigger ones here are actually quite sizable.
Genus name, John.
Oh god, I just see this now.
And Hugh.
Incredible. Hugh and John, yeah. As you should. Horseshoe crabs. We have a few horseshoe crabs. The best thing you can do with horseshoe crabs is make them as conservative as possible, so they look barely different from anything we have today. That's the best horseshoe crabs you can submit, honestly. Nonetheless, we have some good ones here. They look pretty horseshoe crabby. We carry on with some more pterosaurs. A slipper lobster, beautifully here also with some larval form next to it. I appreciate that a lot. This tiny, very nice crocodilian, also with a skull diagram, and this guy, flightless, running in Antionicene. Don't think that's very likely because, well, you have all these sauropods around. Why would would in Inantione do that. If you still come up with a good idea why that should happen, I'm all ears. But yeah, also a little large maybe. But we will discuss
Someone's
this
telling you to
more.
look at the Ashtaka name.
What is it? Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. Then carrying on up into the highlands with a jumping noasaurid frog. We have some. I think that's a Gondwanas here. Yes, that's a Gondwanas here. No, which the baby. A small lungfish living in these cold mountain streams, and the Yeti.
I think both of He Who Needs to Silence quote-unquote Noasaurs, they were Elasmarians. Although they look so like Noasaurs.
I mean, yeah. I mean, also like, especially some Elasmarians and Noasaurids, they have rather similar shapes. So, yeah. Unfortunately, in the way I'm looking at these images here right now, I can't zoom in. There is something really nice when Windows doesn't really make it so that like in my folders they're all in the correct order, but when I have them in gallery mode and click through them, at some point they are out of order. And that drives me crazy. And sometimes it skips over stuff and so on. Like, you would think that one of the largest tech companies in the world would make it possible that these things are portrayed in their browsing function correctly. But no. The more you add to a folder, the trickier it gets to do this. Anyway, carrying on. We are close to the middle. Some more stuff for the freshwater environments here, for the more drier places by the looks of it, like streams that go into the arid parts of the continent, with tiny fishes and beetles and aquatic, or at least in their larval form, aquatic insects. Back out into the reefs, we go with some large fish, a tiny pachycormid with a very cool looking larval form. Another. Sorry?
I said that as a.
You're cutting out, sorry. Okay, Oh god. I think we are losing the ammo.
Okay. Is it better now?
Nope. You're very quiet and slightly cutting out. I think I just carry on for now. This looks to be like a pycnodontiform. Then I think this now though is a noasaurid, an aquatic one, and a small sea cucumber for the reefs. Still more needs to be silent stuff with arboreal unilagins, quite large Mutaborasaur-like Elasmarian, small fishes for the rivers, and small. I think this is. Wait. Oh god, I think that's the tiny Stegosaur. The dwarfed, nearly plateless Stegosaur. This thing here. To break it up a little bit. Oh wow, it's just one creature per submission. This Nyctosaurine that is endemic to the Central Lake, followed by this medium-sized fish. I think this is Okay, no, it's for the streams in the more arid areas of Lemuria, southern wetlands. Some more invertebrates that are apparently cosmopolitan for most parts of Lemuria. Corals. For the longest time, we had very few corals, and then we made people aware of it, and thankfully, quite a few people submitted more of them. For example, this one here by Here Needs to Be Silenced, which is just very tall, narrow column, which I appreciate a lot because this will be very easy to draw. Then we have some brittle star, also again with beautiful larval form. Nice. And a tunicate. The bong tunicate.
Yeah, the best tunicate.
Again with
10 minutes to 4:20 somewhere.
So true.
Okay, then we have a shark. Interesting looking shark with very large pectoral fins. I think there was something interesting about its opportunistic hunters. They're going after little fish. Even attempting to eat stuff like ventilator or even sauropod legs. Oh god. Ooh, haha. These guys are fearless, apparently. Then we have a bunch of ammonites of different shapes. We have so many weird-looking ammonites at this point. We could probably have like a whole alphabet of them. More fish. It's a little bit hard to read the text here. Something to keep in mind for next phase. Please make text well readable. We had a few submissions where it's really, really challenging to read, even if we have the have it on the image, which we appreciate. Sometimes
you me to read it out, I can see most of it.
Yeah. But you know, also again, like here, very much appreciated having the larval form of this fish to go with it. This is a very large coral.
Lovey.
Yes. Large coral for the reefs. Very, very cool design. Looks like a giant mushroom.
Polyps only on the underside.
Yeah. Then this absolute monstrosity of a pycnodont with a eye pattern on its side. God. It looks a little bit like something from Subnautica.
The beeper.
Yep. Then Mamira piratra, another medium-sized, small to medium-sized titanosaur from the cold steppes. We have another pycnodontiform, again also with a larval form. Mwah, beautiful. Glowing ostracods, because of course. And apparently only found in some of these very southern streams here of the continent. Interesting stuff. Then Hinsky Masola, our next person that submitted something with different things for the open woodlands here. We have a gliding mammal. I think we have a closer look at them later here. We have a wasp.
And random sauropod, don't mind it.
Random? Wait, where?
In the previous one.
Oh god, it's an that's a neck, not a tree.
Wait. Oh, what?
Yeah. Well camouflaged. Well played. Yeah, we have these wasps. These arboreal termites. These gliding mammals. Vola Vespacomycerium. Mouthful of a name, but very, very cool to look at. Then Huplerdon with 3 submissions. First one here being fossorial nocturnal generalist paravian. I suspect it's like supposed to be like a relative of here Raunavis. Since Raunavis is jumping a little bit around where it really sits, Paravis is a safe bet to put. This absolute creature of an Alice... No, it's not an Alice Mary. It's a Noasaurid. Sorry. Scaly. Highly armored and parrot-beaked for some reason. Parrot mimicking hippogriff is its name. Yeah, very, very interesting look. And now the Noasaurid with a very long face, but this splayed out teeth similar to Mosiacosaurus. Lots of detail put into these drawings here. I very much like how the feet look here, with large splayed out scales and stuff. It gives me a little bit like Todd Marshall vibes. Okay, Hyena Studios. Oh boy. Maybe we end on Hyena Studios instead of ending on J. Because there's also a lot in here. Okay, let's have a look. We have polycotyleds. Lots of polycotyleds of different shapes. Some of them appear to be going after cephalopods here. I quite like this one with a very dolphin-like fluke. We have subterranean tetrapods. We have a little snake here. We have an... we actually have an... where is it? Sicilian. Yeah.
No.
Fossorial Caesarean. We have
So
Simosuchus relative, some small mammals, and I quite also like this little flower on top. We have tons of birds and pterosaurs, with some cool integument here on the big pterosaur here. I like that splayed out mane on its neck. We have a sauropod with weird inflatable structures on its neck. And lots of little critters that live in and around it. We have all of these animals for the cold steppes, among them a large titanosaur again, or it's not actually not that large. It's up to 5 meters or 6 meters long. Don't get too large in the mountains, really. Yeah, mammals. I really like the shape of that tree. What is that tree?
It's in the amaranth family.
Okay.
So like quinoa. Cool.
Yeah. You can see the windswept shape, like from where it lived, and so on. Yeah, it's cool. Wait, what is 5? Oh, it's lichens. Ooh, specific lichens for the cold steppe and mountains. Nice. And tide pool communities here. We have again crustaceans, Noasaurid, Enantiomycene, endemic species of ammonites and clams. Lots of stuff. Adstarchids here for the mangroves. Mangroves will not get their own piece. That's maybe something that we will have next phase, where mangroves really begin to flourish. Where that up there looks like the nest of some wasps or bees. We have
I think it's
lizards.
an ant, oddly enough.
Is it? What is that? Is it 2? No, wait.
That's number 1.
Eusocial.
Armaniidae, yeah, basal ants.
Oh.
It has flighted workers. Ooh.
Interesting idea. Not too unlikely.
I don't even know if Armanids had the capability of sociality, but I took this.
Maybe it's just a weird one.
A weird animatic group.
Yep.
So weird.
between the roots of the mangroves, we have rays and different kinds of fishes. We have another crinoid here clinging to the mangrove roots, and some specific algae, I think. Or is this? Oh no, not algae. Zosteraceae. Nice. In the carbonate platform, we have this. I really like this fish here with a long lower jaw, very similar to Alienictis. That here Placoderm from the Devonian. With that long lower jaw, we have some sharks and these very small fish, which will be probably used in huge quantities. Then we have in the forest lots of pterosaurs and what lives around them. Among these very cool ants with 3 different castes: queen, soldier, and worker. Maybe a little bit derived for the Cretaceous for ants, but cool looking nonetheless. Also, I like this detail here of having here the seeds and the leaves of the tree that these Astracids are walking among. Up in the canopy, we have some gliding reptiles. And what is number 5 here? A gecko relative. Okay, number 4 is an agamid, very spiny looking agamid. And I think there was something interesting about these insects here that are pollinating them. Usually they are not pollinating in our day and age, I think. Yeah, also this is some nice epiphytes.
Oh, it's a plant hopper.
Yeah.
It's a pollinating plant hopper.
Pollinating plant hopper.
With a long nose.
Yep. And we have coral reef stuff with rudists, corals, and some fish and crustaceans that live among them. Freshwater species are also a thing. We have dragonflies. Hey, one of our dragonflies again. With a juvenile larval form and some beetles. And what is number 3 here? It's a hydra. Nice species. Hydra and plus some small fishes and ostracods. More fossorial stuff. What is number 4 here? Ooh, what kind of bird is this? This should be a digging enantiomycene. Okay, interesting. Yeah, number 2 here is Xenosaurid. I think this might be our first Xenosaurid. Honestly, so, I don't remember seeing any other one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we have them on the list, but I think next to no one picked them up. Also, they look very cool, like little Godzillas. And we have another stegosaur, of course. Alismarians and enantiomycenes for I think this is for the open woodland areas. Oh no, Savannah hot steppe species. Okay. Some more leaf litter species, very small stuff here with a small lizard. Very cool looking pelican spider. And I think we have, what is that? Is that Hymenopteran? Number 1.
Number 1, Nemopteridae.
Hymenopteridae. Okay. Folivore. Ooh.
I'm looking
Interesting.
It up. It's a lacewing, a spoon wing lacewing.
Interesting. Is it based on the head shape? I would have said like Hymenopteran, but okay. I think that below though is I think a wasp. Yeah.
It's got the stinger.
It has a big ovipositor. Then, oh my god, I think that's a very large species of Scolopendrae. 26 centimeters long. Damn.
Hasn't popped on the stream.
Then then that must be a very small Alismerian there. Okay, no, I think it's just more in the background because it's apparently up to 1.2 meters long. Or it's a juvenile. Although the big wattle makes me think otherwise. These are all hot desert species. From hot desert, we go into fresh water again with this very cool looking crocodilian and its contemporaries. Is it? It's a Notosuchian. Okay, okay. Majunga Sukit. Nice. Then, also, I like this here. These are specific species that are associated with titanosaurs. As the title says up here, in the wake of titanosaurs. Like animals that follow or travel with titanosaurs, like looking for animals that were trampled by them, insects and other small creatures that were disturbed. This Parankylosaur here looks like it's going for the dung of a titanosaur. Very cool idea for sure. Maybe also going for the insects in there. Yeah. Then maritime forest animals with another Abelisaur, another Parankylosaur. What is that on the... Neoangiomorpha. Okay. Large arboreal lizard. Up to 2.5 meters long. Ooh, damn, that's a big boy. Then coral reef species with, I think this is a Mesoleptos relative here. What is that, number 3? Oh yeah, Mosasauridae, Mesoleptos relative. Yeah, okay. Up to 2 meters long. Lots of fish. More corals. Nice. Always needed. Oh, I think I saved this one double, unfortunately. We had that earlier. Central lake species with something that looks a little bit like a sturgeon. What is this? Aspidiringinae. Okay. Turtle stuff. Is that a catfish? I don't think so. Number 5. Oh, it's a bowfin. Nice. Wait, what's number 2? Oh, it's more hydras. Colonial hydras.
Shogothohydra. Ooh.
Interesting idea. Interesting. Like forming these little colonial mats on the surface. Very cool idea. Coastal cliffs are full of pterosaurs and birds, of course. But also we have here a lizard that appears to be going for bird eggs. Specifically, that's number 1. It's another new angiomorphid, nearly 2 meters long. Quite liking also the Nyctosaur up there. That's displaying not just with its crest, but also with inflatable sacs on its throat, little frigate bird-like. Cool beans. And then we have this Aristonectine. I think the biggest one we have in here, up to 12 meters long, similar to Aristonectus itself, with an enormous gular pouch to suck in all the plankton. Nice. I think we will end it at this point because my voice is getting more strained by the second, and we are basically in the middle of my folder in the moment. Yeah, the rest of this will be covered tomorrow. Maybe we even start a little bit earlier, so we have more time for the mural afterwards. But yeah, we shall end it here. As you have seen, there is still a lot to come, but there's also a lot we already went through with tons of fantastic submissions. I think we could create basically all all ecosystems already just based on these submissions. There's so much to choose from. Yeah, the rest of this will be discussed tomorrow, showcased tomorrow, and then we will slowly transition into putting these together into ecosystems that are hopefully as interesting as they are plausible. But yeah, that's something for Friday. I hope you guys don't shit too much on me for only looking at some of your images for a few seconds. But with over 900 submissions, at some point you have to speed up a little bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah. One joke before you leave.
Why? Yes, but yeah.
So I figured out a way to figure out the sex of ants, right? So the females are more dense than the males, so they'll sink. So then any ant that floats is boy ant.
Kill yourself! Can you behead her?
Ah, god damn it.
My mom's on the table with me and she started.
Good night, everyone, and see you tomorrow if I survive this.